Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Free Agents podcast. Back for some more pre-agents, closing out another season of the Real World Road Rules Challenge. A couple seasons away before we actually just hit the challenge. The Duel 2 coming to an end today in an unprecedented Free Agents Part 5. We're going to be talking about episode 9 and 10, closing out the season properly, the reunion, and even a surprise shit they should have shown that surprised me when I saw that in the lineup for the episode. So excited to get into it all. Of course, I am Matt. I'm here with Scally. Scally, what's up?
Hello. My God, 4 episodes in one podcast. I feel like we're talking about like the original season of the challenge. Very excited to be here, closing out the season. Obviously excited for all the Mount Rushmores and everything else, but not to get too ahead of ourselves. I thought this was a good end to a fun season.
We could just jump ahead and just, bye MJ.
I mean, I am willing to say goodbye to MJ prematurely, but otherwise we should talk about everything else.
First ever shit they should have shown, right? We haven't gotten to these yet.
That's on my radar, at least.
Yeah. At least titled this. They might have had episodes that were like some bonus clips or like labeled something else, but I don't believe we have yet seen a title shit they should have shown. That's going to become a bit of a staple for a while.
Interesting. That's so funny because in my head they've happened for much longer than this. This was like a staple of the childhood viewing experience of the challenge. Was like, all right, and then there's the episode where they show all the dirty stuff. This is where a bunch of the mess happens. You got to watch the shit they should have shown, even though it was like its own separate week of episodes. You still came back for it.
Yeah, I tried to do a quick Google search to see if there was a like an answer available as the first one. I'm not getting that right off the bat. So I guess apologies if I'm forgetting one, but it does feel like it is the first one. Who knows? Yeah. Anyway, we'll get there. But we got to start with episodes 9 and 10 to close out the season. We have to get rid of 2 more men, 2 more women on the way to the final and crowning our winners, which was, I don't know, just to say at the top here, I thought a pretty fun ride to the end, and it didn't feel to me like it dragged on all that much. We got rid of people pretty quickly, and then we got our winners. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I loved the formatting at a part, but I think that it was decent television made for a compelling, fast-paced, final 2 episodes. So, especially this many years out, I really can't complain.
Yeah. Definitely feel the same. Let's get into it because we got a lot to get to. We pick up in episode 9. They're having a lot of fun. This group seems to really enjoy each other's company for the most part. Not a ton of tension remaining in the house besides, Brad and Tori. So they're having a fashion show. Mark is the MC. Brad and maybe Evan were judging. And then you have all of the women that are going to be walking the poolside runway and Landon.
Yes. It was a handful of men were the judges. I think it was all of the men except for Landon left. Unclear if Mark was a judge or just the MC, who appeared to be a I'm gonna go ahead and say gay European, like Sacha Baron Cohen Bruno-esque character. Very flamboyant.
Yes. They are seemingly doing a lot of characters this season. In the shit they should have shown, they show a scene which wasn't the best, of just like them putting on mustaches, putting on accents and pretending to be salesmen from different countries.
If they're Italian, I'll give it a pass. But I think that we didn't get all of the accents because I at first was like, but I don't think everyone was like racially charged that we got to see.
I hope not. But I was definitely scared.
Yeah, more offensive things in the shit they should have shown for sure.
Yeah. We'll get there. So yeah, the girls all looked great. They had some good outfits.
They did look good. I was gonna say in the shit they should have shown, we did also have MJ and Landon acting as a stereotypically gay couple, which was just like kind of the same accent that Mark put on loosely. So. Okay.
And I paid so close attention to that until they told me that MJ was holding a taco with his manscaping clippings in there.
His pubes. Yeah, he made a pube taco.
Why are we 4 minutes into a podcast and talking about pube tacos? Why did that happen? Why? I've just I feel like I've heard of, a lot of different things that people are into. And that one's never come across my desk.
No, not a. I don't think it was a kink. I, I'm not really sure. I feel like MJ is not usually, bursting with personality on the challenge. I think it's slightly different on the real world, but he's definitely not the most wild person on the cast. So it really did take me off guard. This was something that's on the radar from like MJ the dad that we're usually presented.
I mean, I guess if we're starting with more shit they should have shown, and we're keeping it in the region of the genitalia, Big Easy, and apparently
Oh,
he
his
has a hobby, maybe we want to call it, of
I like
holding
that.
himself from the whatever, holding his penis essentially while his balls just like smack against his legs and then smack up against his hand, and then it makes like a very loud sound. And he was having like a clap off with Anissa clapping her butt cheeks while Eric was clapping his balls against his body. And Eric was like in physical pain because of it, to which they were like, Eric, nobody asked you to do this.
Yeah, Eric has some door knockers. Isaac says he's very jealous. He wishes his balls were that big. Have you ever witnessed or I guess heard someone doing this before?
No, I did not
I
go to
have
college. I have
actually.
not been in a frat. But you've done at least one of those things. So I wonder if it was then or some other time, but that's up to you to
um
share.
Otherwise, yeah, no, one of my friends used to do this. So I was not marveled at the fact that this was possible, unfortunately.
Um, this is a crazy group. Um, quite insane. Anyway, the only person that I would have been more interested in either of these two past things we talked about would be Landon, because Landon's Landon. He is a part of this fashion show as well. And the fun part about it is that he's not really wearing much of anything. He's got like a little something around his area in the front and the back. It's like a Speedo that's covered in, I don't even know what it was, but
Is it a
uh
speedo?
I don't know. We weren't able to see it because as he was walking this poolside runway, there's a Duel logo that the editors had to put on his front and back because I guess it was too revealing.
I don't think it was a speedo. I think I mean, we've seen them in speedos before. Why would they blur that out? I think it was literally a like masking. What's the clear tape? I don't know. Like clear tape belt that has just some strategically placed juice boxes. But like, I think we were hanging twig and berries. Like, I think those were visible.
How do I go back in time and show up at that house? Um, Speaking of Landon and people's fantasies about Landon, apparently Landon's having fantasies about Ryan Kehoe.
Yeah, that is something that's also in the shit they should have shown. Is Landon announces to apparently like everyone, and was very distraught over the fact that he had had a sex dream about Ryan Kehoe in the house.
And they were all like so excited for Ryan to have found out about this because Ryan's like in love with Landon, and fair enough. If I was Ryan Kehoe and I learned this information, I would have a hard time not just making sure Landon is sure that he didn't like the dream. Just like
I got
any
you.
like any chance that that was like something you really wanted to explore. If he says no, he
I
says
just have
no.
follow-up questions.
Just It's just worth
Um,
asking.
I think for Ryan's probably happy if he didn't get to experience it, at least Landon did.
Right. I
So,
mean,
um, I, you know, I, and we could say, okay, Landon was like very shaken up about it. I feel like that's like, I think some people might be like, oh my god, like why is he so shaken up? I think it's fine. I don't. Landon does not come off homophobic here to me.
not even a little bit. He comes off like anti-problematic in any way, shape, or form throughout the entire season, really. And he's also backing up Brad along the way. We also have like the reason to believe has been pretty anti-problematic, if anything, quite the opposite along. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a 5-way tie for this fashion show, and everyone's just
Boo.
having fun. Yeah, boo. Who
Boo.
cares? Before we get to the big juicy topic here before the challenge, a little scene with Evan and MJ. Evan is worried that MJ might throw him into the duel, so I guess he's buttering him up a little bit by pretending to be MJ's daughter and asking MJ to tuck him into bed.
Aw. To which we find out that MJ says he's heard that his daughter is screaming out for him in the middle of the night and at home. And I'm like, this is so sad. But the way he puts it is he says that his daughter is waking up at night screaming his name. So I'm just imagining this baby being like, MJ, MJ.
I mean,
I
that
don't
is Honestly, of all things that babies could be saying, like you give them really hard words, but two letters back to back, that's
I
easy.
know.
That's easy. We so this is going to be MJ is going to be one of the people that gets eliminated before the final here. And just to like talk about him generally right now, we do find out that by the time the reunion is filming, we are MJ is expecting baby number two, which he
Ah.
spends a lot of time in these episodes talking about how that's what he wants from life.
And he spends a decent amount of time on All Stars talking about these children. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's not the last we will hear about baby number one or baby number two.
Nope, nope, nope. But let's get to Tori and Brad, who also are gonna have some babies at some point, but not right now. Right now, Tori's telling Brad, get a job, get a real job.
Oh no, why right now? Like, this is very awkward. We like kind of jump in what I assume is the middle of a conversation where Tori has said basically she just wants him to find a real job. Her uncle has given him every tool he should need, which I like. Did he offer him a job? What else is he giving him? So I felt like this was a conversation we did not need to be privy to.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable. They are really having a hard time this season. We've been seeing this for a couple of episodes now. Tori is at the point that she is taking the engagement ring off of her finger and giving it to him, which he is obviously not thrilled about. He's not, expecting this to be at that level of like frustrations. But Tori is talking about, I don't want to marry into this lifestyle. She's been pretty clear along the way that like she doesn't give a shit about the challenge. She's been accepting the calls twice now, but like she doesn't care about being here. She doesn't care about the game. And Brad is on his sixth season or something like that. So she's like, I don't want to do this forever. I want you to have a real job if you're going to be my partner in life. And she's talking about really wanting to go home. So she's having a hard time. She's confiding in DM. Brad's confiding in the guys about just how all of this is so hard. He's talking to them. He's like, it's hard to get a job in this economy. Apparently he has been trying.
Real.
But it's just, again, some really tough conversations. They're not on the same page. They circle back and try to talk again, and they're not getting anywhere. Eventually, on the third try of them having a talk, at least in this sequence, they do come back together. They go on like a long walk by some horses, and they eventually kind of work it out a little bit, but it was not the easiest road to get there.
Yeah, I will admit, remember I had been on like watch of when am I gonna find Tori annoying? And I don't think that Tori has no points here, but I did find Tori annoying here. I like taking off your ring and leaving it on the bed. I do feel like is a big thing. Like you can take off your ring to wash your hands, but when you are doing so because like I am mad at you and I'm leaving this ring with you, I feel like that is pretty disrespectful.
I mean, that is so crazy, like symbolic of something so much bigger than just this fight. I that is truly like a painful thing that someone can do. And her, I guess, being at that point that she feels like that's something that she feels she wants to express, like says something real. Like it says that she's really not in a good place, but then, that pain is also going to then bounce back to hurt Brad in such a big way that he's like, that's crazy that you just did that. Again, they seem to end in a good place, at least for here and now, but how clear can she be that she doesn't want to be here and the game is putting her in such a bad mental state?
For sure. But it is really funny to meet your husband on the challenge and then complain that you're on the challenge.
Well,
I'm not saying it's wrong, but it just like is a funny thing. It's not the last challenge Brad will do. It's not the last challenge Tori will do. So that's certainly an interesting lens to look through. But like Tori, he's working on it. It's not like Brad's gonna be doing, I don't know, season 42 of the challenge.
Knock that off.
Like what?
That is literally insane to put into context here, given this conversation. Get a real job. Every couple of years / seasons, he will have a real job, and he gets like bailed out by Maria Menounos, first time hosting, right, for her at the reunion, and she calls out not the first time.
I don't think so. I feel like we've talked about her because every time she comes up, I bring up the Justin Bieber interview where he imitates her laugh, going,
whether it's whether it's that or the shit they should have shown, I think I might just keep calling everything the first time and be wrong, at least half the time.
I'm unsure because I also was like, oh, look, Maria's here, but I think we've had her before, at least once.
I don't know. Regardless, she kind of bails Brad out a little bit here. Stop it.
It's my favorite thing.
And she's like, "Oh, Brad, you just made 35K. Like now you don't have to work for a year." And he's like, "Yeah, at least a couple of months." I
Yeah.
don't know if
Look,
Tori liked that.
I don't think that it was her favorite, especially we'll talk about who's on next season.
Yeah. And on your point about Tori, not loving being here, or she does come back or whatever, she does take a little bit of a break after this season. So
For
she will be
sure.
back eventually, but it took some time, I guess, to convince her to go back.
It's
Um,
it's just hard watching because Brad says, where she has like a comment that's like if you're done with me, just be done with me. And he's like, oh my God. Like every time you make a comment like that, you usually storm out of the room. So like I'm kind of surprised you're here. So like it is unfortunate feeling like they've had this conversation probably many times. And it's not just the challenge that has been able to cause this level of stress. At one point, she's like, please don't raise your voice at me. And I think Brad was really raising his voice all that much. I think he was slightly animated. But I am just like, how much is this just indicative of what's going on outside of here is the
yeah.
problem.
Tori really doesn't want to be here. She really doesn't want to do this upcoming challenge that we're about to get to, spelling air. It's a spelling bee high up in the air, about 100 feet over the lake that they're at. The men and women are going to compete in separate rounds. First ever spelling challenge. I'm just going to keep doing this. I think it might be, but I really don't know. I don't even know if they've done trivia yet, but I haven't been tracking that.
No, they've done
So
trivia because I remember specifically the one where they had to like they got shocked if their teams got it wrong. So they've definitely done trivia. I am trying to think specifically on spelling, and I feel like maybe, but I think it was part of the trivia challenge. That's what I'm struggling to remember. Was there a specific one?
it's the first time. They have to spell a word. If they get it wrong, they drop into the water. One chance and you're out. Again, Tori is miserable at the idea of doing this. She's afraid. She doesn't want to go up there and stand up there like Captain Hook, fall into the water. At least she's funny when she's miserable.
True.
She also talks about how her fifth grade spelling bee scarred her. So she's got that. Kind of gross.
Tori, yeah, dry heaving over the side of this plank. It was a tough watch.
And like Anissa's next to her having to just like am I about to get projectile vomited on or not? While DM is in the corner crying and like praying for her safety in all of this. And yeah, I mean it is scary. It's very high up, and until you like see someone get ejected off of it, you don't know what the fall is going to be like. So it is scary. I get it. But it wasn't going well.
That's exactly the thing. I'm like, did they tell them it will be a slow downfall? Because 100 feet in the air, I would be scared to do that. Like that is not a easily survivable distance. So
Yeah.
The fact that a harness is going to really slowly, relatively slowly drop you down so you will not be at fatal distance from the water is a very important detail.
One of my favorite places to go to, they're generally called like adventure parks, I guess. It's like the obstacle course climbing in the trees that just like you go from tree to tree, and they've built like all these different, it almost feels like Survivor type of like obstacle courses just high up in the trees.
Yeah.
I love doing those. And the first time that I ever did one, there is a point where you have to jump off of a platform or just like walk off of it, and the harness just catches you. But you have to trust that it's going to catch you. And when you're there and you didn't see anybody do it before you, it's like, I just have to walk off of this and this is going to catch me. Like, what? And it does. It catches you, I would say 100% of the time. I'm sure there's been whatever.
I don't think it would still be open otherwise.
Terrifying to do it for the first time. And then after I had done it for the first time, live to tell the tale, I couldn't wait to get other people to then have to do it. Like the first time I took Jonathan there, I was like, yeah, just wait. And then he's like, I just walk off. Yeah, you just walk off and you're good. But it is very scary when you don't know that you're going to get caught. Anyway, love those places. DM is going to go down first because she can't spell arithmetic. Fair.
I think
she gives it an A.
It's not the most difficult word to spell in the world, but I think even if you try spelling out loud without a piece of paper, it is much more difficult. And also doing so 100 feet in the air when you are absolutely out of your mind, terrified like DM is, it's going to be difficult.
Anissa can't spell exercise, so she's out. And Anissa does give her classic, excuses as to why she couldn't win, which I figured you'd appreciate. Tori gets poison. She can spell that right. Baby, I got it right. Good job, baby. Good job, baby.
I don't always feel like these words were all equal.
No, poison is so different from arithmetic to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Brittany gets freight and she's wrong. Rachel gets cucumber and she's right. cucumber. That's it.
Yeah,
Tori
again,
gets millennium wrong. Baby, I'm about to fall. Okay, baby, good luck.
she spelled it really wrong.
She
To be
did.
fair, but I didn't think this was one of the hardest words.
And then Rachel wins on the word pinnacle. So Rachel's going to be the women's winner here. On the men's side of things, Eric, sorry, who's Eric? Evan is very happy that Landon can't be climbing things today. So there's a chance for somebody else to win a challenge. So valid point. MJ gets abnormal right. Evan gets yesterday right. I mean, we're spelling yesterday compared to
That's
some
the
of the other.
thing.
I don't know.
Yesterday is crazy. Like, there's not even a trick in the word. Like, even if it was a well-known word that there's a trick in, like, okay, like, do Wednesday. Like, everyone
Yeah.
should know how to spell it, but at least there's a trick.
Brad gets the word throne. And when I tell you, if you're not watching along, that he spelled it wrong, he spelled it wrong.
What
He
if he
spells it
had said THROWN?
then perfectly acceptable.
I don't know. That's not what they put on the screen.
Well, perfectly acceptable to me that he would have spelled it that way. He spells THRON, throne. Help.
Look,
Um,
that's pretty.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
And I'm not a big Brad boy when Landon and Mark Long are right there, you know.
Look, Brett has great eyes.
He does. Mark gets simile. He gets that right. Landon gets extremely and spells it wrong. He misses the E closer to the end of the word. MJ gets immaculate wrong. Evan gets curriculum right. And then Mark gets svelte wrong, which again, these levels of the words are just vastly different.
Yeah.
And Evan gets the win.
Good for Evan. Evan about to go on a little streak right before the end of having safety.
Yeah. Evan and Rachel are going to be the ones deliberating here. So just kind of getting straight to that. They talk about, what they can control out of this order. Rachel is basically saying that Anissa is fine with being sent directly into elimination because she'll get to pick her opponent. And she's going to then further get into this, talking about how she has a plan with Anissa and Brittany, how they can get to the end. Obviously, that means that Tori and DM have to go, which makes sense. It seems like that's the way that the women have split alliance-wise. But in order to get there, Rachel wants to be the one to face off against DM, and she wants Anissa to take out Tori, feeling like, as she says, Anissa can take out anybody, so let me take DM and you take Tori. And just to cut ahead even further, Anissa's just going to go along with it.
Anissa should be taking out Rachel.
I mean,
you're not beating. The thing is, Anissa's not beating anyone at the end, which I think is very clear. I think that all four of the other women smoke her every time. But like, if you want your best chance, take out Rachel. Rachel has been suddenly Anissa's best friend, as we saw. I was like, you're my best friend here. Like, I'm so glad we've reconnected, and you're amazing, and I love you. And then like really does nothing for Anissa. She's throwing her into elimination.
It is quite literally insane how much loyalty Anissa has to Rachel here. And I mean, I guess I kind of have to say the same thing for Mark Long and Evan here, who are incredibly loyal to Landon and don't find it worthwhile to send him in here. MJ is going to be the one that gets to automatically go in, and then he picks his opponent. Landon is available. Landon is open right now to be sent in, and you're gonna betray him in 20 minutes anyway. Do it now.
I agree. I don't know what we're waiting for. It really is wild to watch people just be okay with losing the challenge.
It's insane. It's literally insane. The safety chain ends up going. So Rachel and Evan pick Mark. Mark picks DM, then Brad, then Tori. Tori saves Landon, which sends in MJ. Landon saves his partner, of course, Brittany, sending in Anissa. MJ and Anissa, these two partners are now facing elimination. But again, Landon should have gone in. It really should have. They should have made it a priority for your biggest competition that is not safe for the day to go in. Whatever. MJ picks Brad as his opponent. He says, he's got respect for Brad. They go way back, but he wants to win and he thinks Brad is his best chance. And then Anissa picks Tori, and Tori reacts so normally to this. She's like, oh, great. Let's, no, she does not react.
Had to do somebody's dirty work.
Wait, what was that? What was that?
Nothing. Actually, nothing. I have nothing to say anymore.
I thought you said something. I thought you said something.
Oh no, I am brave enough now. Like, oh, okay.
So you just want to talk shit behind our backs and not say it to her face. Rachel's over there, woman up.
I actually think that was directly in front of her face, technically. So I don't know what that means. I'm confused.
So first of all, DM was so sure she was going in. She's like,
Oh yeah.
obviously, Anissa's going to pick me. I'm perceived as the weakest, so I'm prepared to go in. She's not going to go in right now. But as far as Tori is concerned here, Tori has a whole song and dance celebration, especially once the game gets picked. It's Elevator, which she feels like is her best bet because Anissa can't touch her in Elevator, and she's seen Anissa in 2 physical eliminations so far this season, and Anissa obviously has dominated those. So Tori is just as if she just won the challenge itself. So happy that Anissa can't touch her.
I believe Tori in that she just didn't want to get hit by Anissa, and probably in her mind was like, I could go home. Like, I think that Tori was very okay with the fact that she might be going home, and was like, if I go home, at least I'm not getting punched in the face, like she
Yeah.
says. Anissa might have hit Siobhan, and I didn't love though where Tori's like, you're scary, like you get ugly in the duels. Like, I don't know. Like as Anissa says, like it's a competition, it's a physical fight. Like I don't know what you want.
She's like, but you hit Siobhan. Yeah, like that's the game. We were playing the
Siobhan kicked
game.
her.
Yeah, like and
Like,
they cut back to the clip, and it's like it's an elimination. That's a physical elimination.
yeah.
And Anissa's like getting upset about, the fact that Tori's making her out to be this monster. She's I would say Anissa rightfully so is getting upset about this. And Tori claps back with, "Oh, Anissa, I'm sorry. Do you want a hug?" Like, Tori, you are embarrassing yourself big time.
It's a little sarcastic. It's a little bit sarcastic.
Yeah.
I did like Anissa where she's like, oh, she wants to think that this is all about endurance. She doesn't know what I've endured. I've endured way worse than an elevator. It's like, I don't think that's the same meaning of endurance, like totally. So, whatever happens.
Shout out to Rachel, who did just totally get Anissa to do what she wanted her to do without
You
any
know,
questions in the world.
Tori's not wrong.
Yeah.
Like she did get someone to do her dirty work. That's
Yeah.
exactly what happened here.
Yep.
I also will say before we get to the duel, I like MJ when picking his partner or picking his opponent is like, I could pick Mark, who's like the elder statesman here. He's as big as me and like could be a fair matchup. Like, if we get a physical elimination, like he really could do well against me. I could pick Brad. I could pick Landon, who's the best competitor here. It's like, oh, we're just gonna like sing the praises of everyone else and then say, or I could pick Brad.
I mean, look at the track record. Mark's been winning plenty this season. He's been praised as, the old guy that still got it. And Landon is winning everything. Evans won eliminations. And then there's Brad.
For
So
sure.
I get
But
it.
like, I think that the problem is he said it out loud. Like
Fair.
you don't praise everyone else and then just pick the person that you didn't. Like you are like, oh my god, this person is the most honest, like best person I know. Like I'm so sorry, but I have to pick Brad. Like if you're friends, like that's what you do. But it was really funny that he praised everyone but Brad and then thought it was a surprise that he was picking Brad.
He should have said, Brad has the nicest eyes.
There we go, and that I would sign off on.
Let's talk about the duel. We have Anissa versus Tori is up first. And, we're going to get Anissa versus Tori many years later, but a different Tori. And there's going to be a lot different stakes in that elimination as those two are best friends. These two are not. They're playing the elevator. We have in the crowd Rachel and Brittany screaming for Anissa. How often does Anissa have this kind of support in the crowd is a question that I have to ask.
Decent point.
DM is screaming for Tori. Both of them are locked in, working really hard. And then the episode ends, which, of course, we pick back up in episode 10. Anissa is going to win this elimination against Tori and get her third duel win this season. Tori did, try really hard, and she makes sure to tell Brad from in the cage still, Brad, I didn't give up. Just so you know, in case you thought that I gave up, because I know I said I want to go home, but I didn't give up. I tried.
It was a nice clarification because I mean, everyone, Landon even says as long as Tori doesn't just like buckle under the pressure, she has this one. So nice to hear. I think Tori did legitimately burn out. I think that Anissa had more in the tank just physically, and I was impressed. I thought good elimination for win for Anissa.
Tori is back in 3 seasons for her final challenge. We teased about that a little bit earlier. So she's not done forever, but she's not long for the world.
No, we got one more. People have been begging for Tori on All Stars, and I think that would be very interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean, hard to make any case other than that would be interesting, especially now. Of course, her and Brad did go on to have life together with kids and everything, and then of course now are no longer together. So
yeah,
just to see where she's at.
She knows in her heart that she's going to spend the rest of her life with Brad.
Well, I have bad news. Or
Oh,
good news because it worked out for both of them, I would imagine. We get MJ versus Brad, dual pole dancing. Both guys get, making their way up the pole. Doesn't seem as physical immediately of like the, what was it, Big Easy and whoever else of like just pulling each
Derek,
other
yeah.
down, unable to get anywhere. Eventually Brad gets pretty high up and MJ is trying to yank Brad's foot down to get any chance of MJ getting up faster, and Brad's foot, his whole body just stays glued to the pole. It's not moving at all. And eventually MJ's the one that falls off the wall, allowing Brad to just make his way to the top and get the win.
Yeah, Brad shoots up this thing,
Yeah.
like kind of clears MJ easily. It really was never ever a question. I think, does MJ beat anyone in the house in this? Probably not.
I mean, anyone could have had a bad run up there. I mean, maybe like Brad is a
Sure.
little bit more like smaller and thus maybe more nimble than like a Mark Long who's similar sized to MJ, and maybe the point he was making about their size comparison actually could have hurt Mark Long, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe Mark is his best bet. But I think everyone in the house is slightly more agile than
Yeah.
MJ. He has his strengths for sure, but I just don't think this was the elimination for him.
No more MJ until the Challenge All Stars.
That's okay. MJ really, I would say, annoyed me this whole season until really, I guess, this episode. So I'm good to take a break.
I mean, as a break, it's we're done. And he was barely here. He comes in twice as a replacement, so it's an interesting
okay.
journey for him. Yeah, it's if he ended up not having been there, I would have been fine. And that's nothing against MJ. He just doesn't bring much to the show. So
No, that's the thing. Especially, I feel like give him another kid, and it's going to be even slower of a season. You don't
another
want
kid.
more tacos.
Get out of here. I that honestly is gross. Like just like so gross. TJ tells all of the players, see you soon, which they don't like to hear because they were expecting you're in the final. Let's see you tomorrow. But he actually meant it. He's going to go see them soon back at the house. He walks into the bedrooms at the house, and one of the early signs, maybe not the first time ever, I don't know, of TJ showing up at the house and throwing everybody off. He congratulates all of them on making it this far. Final 8. DM is like, woo! We did it! We did it! Mark and whoever else are like, wait, he didn't finish his sentence. Like he's not done yet. But only 6 people are going to make it to the end. One more duel to go, and then we'll have our finalists. He tells them that they have 1 hour to decide who the first player is going to be that goes into the duel, who will then pick their opponent. So no challenge, no nothing like that. Just all 4 of you on the men's and the women's side are going to vote for one of you to go in. Obviously, there could have been a stalemate. We could have had a tie. I don't know. Well, do you think those 2 just would have gone in if it was a tie?
I don't know. Probably not.
They would have like forced them to, I don't know, but they could have just kept stalemating. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they don't. Neither of these 2 votes ends up being a tie. I'll just say it's easier for the women. The women are just like DM's on the outs, and she's just the obvious pick.
Yeah, I was sad that it was just like, all right, and without any chance to save themselves, the underdog just immediately gets voted in. And I was nervous about this happening on both sides.
DM and Anissa have more of a relationship as the challenge goes on, right? Because here it's not really
for better or
anything.
worse. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Like there's more something coming.
I would not say that DM and Anissa were the closest of friends, really at any point. So
no. I remember like just some kind of more, whether it's good or bad, connection between the 2 of them, or story between the 2 of them.
Yes.
But here there's just nothing. It's just, again, Anissa's with Rachel, with Brittany, and DM's on the outs. DM does have a bit of a strategy though. They ask her, even though they just voted her in, do you know who you're going to pick? And she's like, I'm not telling you. Why would I tell you?
Love
you can
that.
all sleep like crap tonight, knowing that one of you are going to go in, and I'm not giving you a heads up.
Yeah, and Anissa's like, this is shitty. Like, that, at least you guys got to find out. Like, she doesn't owe you anything. You just all voted her in immediately. So, too bad.
Good for DM. And then on the guy side, they're talking about, how do we do this? Do we draw a name out of a hat, go based on performance? Landon would love that. Do we do a vote? Eventually, they decide, let's get a hat. We'll put names in a hat. While Landon walks away to go get said hat, all 3 of the guys basically look at each other, and it's understood that Landon's going to be the one that they all say.
Smart move. I think the challenge got lucky that something like this happened. Taking a shot at the biggest competitor right before the end. I mean, would they have preferred to have Landon as a winner? I can't even say that I think that's the case. I feel like Evan has been their golden boy for a
Yeah.
little bit. So, like, I guess maybe they did get lucky, but I'm trying to decide, like, would they rather have had Landon in the final there or not? I think for me, I think we got lucky that a move was made here. I think it was much more entertaining.
It is. It definitely shakes things up a lot. I feel like we didn't get enough, I guess, to just bring the story in here now because we're about to get to Landon's elimination. As he's getting eliminated, he thought he had this game under wraps. Like, and
Yep.
why wouldn't he? He had been dominating. All of the other guys were pretty aware that Landon had been dominating, and again, they let him get through the final five without making an effort to say his name. It's just like, oh, you get one last chance. Don't screw it up this time, and then they don't screw it up, so they get lucky that they're able to give him a chance to go in. If he ends up winning that elimination, I think he does a pretty good job in the final. Probably walks away the winner, but they got the chance, they took it, and Landon goes out right before the end here.
Yeah, I mean, out of I think 9 challenges, Landon wins 5 of them.
Crazy.
And then he also wins one elimination the other week. So like a very, very good record, no
Yeah.
doubt. I would be in the other guy's shoes a little bit like, who's he gonna call in? And I would have to think about that. But I think most people are gonna have an easier time taking, not even an easier time, but like at least 2 shots at Landon if you take him in. I don't know, like you want to throw him into the duel and then like the final. Like you got to figure this out.
Landon ends up telling Brad that he's going to be saying his name and calling him in. So, a little bit of like, I don't know if respect is the right way to put it, but just like, I don't know. He didn't have the same, animosity that DM had towards the women there. He's just like, it's going to be Brad. And they do face off. They're going to play back off. I am glad that both of them made it out without killing each other. This was crazy. This elimination, they were just going at each other like it was a wrestling match, and it
That's
gets
the
Landon
thing.
caught up.
It was lucky for them. I think it was interesting for the most part that the more physical duels in back off and pushover primarily went to the women and not the men, where I feel like the show and probably a lot of the audience is like looking for these big headbangers of like an MJ versus Mark, or stuff like that. But it was interesting then, like dual pole dancing primarily went to the men. Only like one time did the women ever do it. So I just thought it was funny how the split happened over the course of the season.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it that way, but I definitely agree that that's what they would have expected or wanted, if anything. So they finally get what they're looking for here, and you get like Evan and Mark in the, on the bleachers in the audience or whatever, being like, "Yeah, go!" Like as if they're watching gladiators, like kill each other.
Yeah.
Which basically it was. And again, Landon gets caught up here because eventually he gets the ring off of Brad's back. And once you have the ring, like the rules basically are that you have to then go try to get it on. They don't want further wrestling at that point because that's not what the elimination is. TJ ends up blowing the horn and is like, Landon, what do you not know the rules or something? And then Brad goes off, hooks his ring while Landon's getting scolded and gets the point. It's weird.
It's a little weird. It is. I think Landon was basically just disqualified from the first point based on that. But I did think it was weird that it was presented like, while you were getting scolded, Brad's still allowed to play.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if he got disqualified, or I don't know, like, did you take the point away for that? That wasn't made clear. It was just like, all right, well, now Landon's getting in trouble. Brad's going to go get his point.
Yeah.
Landon's going to get the point back in the next round, so we do even it out and make it, all for the win in round 3, which is also going to be pretty chaotic. Landon ends up getting the ring off of Brad's back, but Brad, a little bit of a twist. He's going to grab the ring that you need to hook the carabiner into and take Landon's ring. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. He takes Landon's ring that he needs to hook into, swings it like all over the place so that Landon then has to try to catch it. And while Landon is trying to catch his ring, Brad runs to the other side of the arena and hooks his in pretty easily.
It honestly is one of the best moves in an elimination that I can think of off the top of my head. It's really iconic. Like Landon had this so locked in, and Brad makes one creative decision to throw that ring as far as he can. Landon gets completely discombobulated and just struggles to like get himself centered again and get this ring under control. And so Brad has enough time to get the carabiner off Landon's back, to run across the arena, to hook his in before Landon can like gain composure again. And I just like he had lost the elimination, and in the you know very very last second stole the win back. It was crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, that doesn't work unless it's like this exact point that's necessary. Like if he
Yep.
did that on the first one, then Landon would know to either do that himself and steal
Exactly.
that strategy, or he would have just known to look out for a swinging ring coming at him and try to catch it. But he was so thrown off. It's like, where did my ring go? And then you have to perfectly catch it as it swings back towards you. But by the time that you do, or you can, Brad's already won. So it
was so good.
pretty impressive. Really
It was
impressive.
so good. I think the evolution is like you throw it in like a circular pattern, so it's like
Yeah.
swinging like a tether ball around. Like, oh my god, I honestly like maybe Brad's best move ever on the challenge. Like, I'm very impressed by stuff like this.
I'd struggle to find a better gameplay, a better move, a better anything. I've been coming down on Brad all season, but he got it there.
I love when someone finds a hack to a challenge. Like, this is not at all how it was intended to be played, and he really like solved it. If it's not against the rules on the challenge, you should be doing it. And Brad came up with such a creative way to get himself the advantage.
And Brad's going to move on to the final here. Landon is out. He obviously, as we already said, he thought this win was his. He thought it was going to be his season. We all did. They all did. But he is out. He is not done on the challenge. He has one more season to go. Fresh meat. He'll be back for his Fresh meat 2. He'll be back for his final challenge ever. But a pretty good, I would say, reintroduction back to Landon after we had not had him for what, like 6 seasons. So, he's back and almost done. But
I want like more mess out of Landon. TJ's like, there's never been a classier man on the challenge or something. Like, TJ loves Landon.
I mean, I do too. So
I think in different ways.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. The final duel between the women here. We have DM versus Brittany. What do you think about the Brittany pick when DM knew it was going to be pushover?
I think honestly she had no good picks is the problem.
Agreed. Mostly. I don't know. I just feel like Brittany looks the tallest there. And by the Brian Scally philosophy, I'm not going to want to face off against the tallest person in a physical elimination.
I agree.
I don't know. I like if I was picking, I mean, Anissa's got like she's got the oomph in these eliminations. So do you go Rachel and just give it a shot? I don't know.
I think that picking Rachel is also good because you could potentially eliminate your biggest threat in the final.
Yeah.
I think Rachel might not be expecting to get picked, and I could see Rachel getting a little shaken up in the fact that she does. I do think sometimes Anissa panics under pressure. So I do think Brittany might have been the worst pick of the 3, to be fair.
Yeah, and that proves to be the case. Although DM does hang in it a little bit. There's a twist added into this, not intentionally, but it's been raining, so the entire platform that they do push over on is all very slippery. Brittany gets the first point. DM gets the second point, which it's like, oh, look at her. She's fighting. She's staying in it. But in the last round, DM's foot ends up touching the ground. Like her whole body is on the platform, but her foot does hit the ground, and so Brittany gets the win.
The second point by DM is good because in the first point she really just gets like she gains no ground, she gains no footing, she's just pushed off. Like she is not bigger, stronger, more well suited to this than Brittany. So in the second point she basically dives to the ground and pushes Brittany off to the side, which was really creative, really good, and I think like a very fun round to see. But once you do that once, Brittany knows that's what you're going to do next time and comes in prepared. DM slips. And it is very unfortunate that she was probably losing it anyway. But I would have rather, I wish that we got to see, could she have made it happen again?
Yeah, I don't think she's winning this final up against, if Brittany goes, I mean, obviously I think she beats Anissa, but I don't think she's beating Rachel. Obviously didn't seem like anybody was beating Rachel. I don't think so.
GM's
I mean, especially
that's the one big positive thing in her column. And so I would say as much as I don't think DM beats Rachel in many dailies, in many eliminations, I think the final is the one place that she is more well suited to go up against Rachel.
I mean, I think the one spot that she gets caught up, which funny enough is the spot that Rachel gets criticism about, is the digging. That Rachel apparently wasn't digging very well.
True.
We'll talk about the final spot there, but I think DM might even do worse there. And then on elevator, I also think that she's a little bit weaker than Rachel by the time they get to that, if they were
Easy,
really
for
close.
sure.
So it would have been tough, but I mean, she would have taken second place. She was so excited to get to the end and to be there in the final, and she's so upset
Ugh.
when she's not able to make it. Every DM elimination is truly just so heartbreaking. You can tell how bad she wants it, how bad she wants to be there, how much of a fighter she is. I mean, we know that just from knowing DM's story, but you know, TJ's giving her all the props. It's just like it's really hard to see her go.
Yeah. You know, he did just say that Landon was the classiest player, so he can't then also use that on DM. Like, he's like, you know, DM, you're so amazing, we love you. I thought that no one would call her a pushover. We only see Brad say goodbye to DM. I do feel like there was a little bit of a divide between the DM and Tori versus the other women side of
Yeah.
things.
A little bit of that. Obviously, Evan and DM had a good relationship all season, so I didn't see him say goodbye, but like I'm sure that he did.
As much shit as he talked.
Yeah, that too. This ended up being like a really good season for her, all things considered, though. I mean, given how it started with the CT of it all, like it was like, oh, she was in such a bad place, probably mentally, with all of that. And she comes in and she's able to, you know, make some friendships, obviously, specifically with Tori. She makes it really deep. She wins her first and unfortunately only elimination. But she ends up like coming so close to winning a challenge in the one that she, you know, loses against Rachel. But she was so underestimated along the way, and she was shown so many different times, like doing her dancing stuff, having fun. So just given again where it started, you know, it seemed like she had a positive time.
For sure. I feel like, you know, getting further away from treatment and stuff like that was all, you know, bringing back the original DM that we met. I did think it was very interesting in her final words. She uses the time to say that, you know, she took a lot away from this challenge, and something that she took away is that CT is not the person she will end up with. And I think CT and DM watch is something that is obviously very much on the forefront of our minds as we are doing this rewatch. So checking in with that, it's interesting to see, like, yeah, I've closed that chapter firmly in my mind at this point.
Right. And we know that's not the case, basically. So, well, it is for now, but, you know, not in the long term. DM is back next season, but then she will be taking a 3-season break. So
it's so funny because I feel like DM is honestly, she might have been doing treatment again at that time.
I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that that is possibly the case because DM loved the challenge. Like that is well known how much DM loved being there. So maybe I will research that one at some point.
We get to the final. We have our final 3 men, Evan, Brad, and Mark. Our final 3 women, Rachel, Brittany, and Anissa. Everybody's getting paid. The winner's getting $100K. Second place is getting $35K, and third place is getting $15K. The format of this is it's basically one big endurance race with a bunch of checkpoints along the way. Each checkpoint is a little mini challenge that resembles one of the duels that they've competed in. All of these duels throughout the entire season. Some checkpoints they need a partner to compete with, which we've seen this in finals even still today, that when you get to the checkpoint, if like what ends up happening in this final, all the guys get to the checkpoint first, and then they have to wait for the women to show up. And it's happened in reverse too, that the women have to wait for the men. But in this case, the men have to wait for the women to show up. And then every time that another person gets there and a pair can go off and compete, they do. Overall, though, did you have any major takeaways from this final? Did you enjoy it? Was it well paced?
I thought it was decent. I think that we could have probably had a little bit more running. And I think especially after they finished Elevator, there should have been a run. I think it was really boring to watch them finish Elevator and just like walk over to TJ. That was weird that he was just
actually, let me not agree with that. Let me not agree with that, just because the way that it finishes is iconic.
It's results oriented thinking, but
that's how I do things.
I think the setup was bad in theory, but worked out very well for them in one instance of the 6 finishes.
Yes, we'll get there in a second, but they start off on a jet boat, getting like spun around the ocean, the lake, whatever, and then eventually the boat stops. They're told get off, go, to which then they have to like make their way across this river. There's like a rope that's going from one one side of the river to the other, and they have to really hold on to that while, I don't know, it's hard to say that they're swimming because the current is so
Reversing.
strong here. It almost takes Anissa completely out of life, let alone the final.
Watching Anissa get washed down the river was one of the funniest things I've seen in a while.
Like knowing she's okay. She is almost gone.
Her head is above water the whole time. It's very funny. She's just like, what do I do?
And I'm just like, where's the safety team? Where's anybody to stop her? She's just like, there's Anissa. She's gone. There she's going.
We didn't have
that
budget.
I don't know how she got to shore.
I think eventually she just hit a more shallow part of the river and was able to walk too, but it was really funny watching her just get washed away.
And that pretty much told us what this final was going to look like. 2-woman race on the women's side of the board. Anissa's like, next time I'm training and throwing away the cigarettes. We'll see about that.
Well,
we'll see about that.
On challenge 42.
I mean, we've also been on Anissa watch, and how close has she been to winning a final, or how close has she been to winning a season? This is putting itself firmly in the top 3 just by the fact that it is, she has made it to this final. She still, I think, probably wins the Gauntlet 3 or so, one of those, the Gauntlet 2 maybe, the one that like the weird final that was over within seconds because of the betting. That was her best chance so far.
I feel like Anissa has been eliminated on challenges that she had better shots of winning than
this. than this one, fair.
Yes.
So all these different checkpoints. First is spot on. You have to put the puzzle together before you can move along. Then we get to dual pole dancing, which is funny because so they have a bike attached to the pole. You have to climb to the top of the pole and unlock the bike. For some reason, Evan thinks that he has to carry his bike up the pole.
Yeah, misreads the directions, just sees it there, and I don't know if he thinks he has to carry the bike and like put it over the other side of the pole or something to unlock it, but climbs all the way to the top with a mountain bike for no reason.
Yeah, Mark's like, what is he doing? Like, that doesn't seem right, and nobody else is doing it. It's just Evan. He gets halfway up and he realizes, I guess, why do I have the bike in my hands, like in my arm? Insane. Anyway, then they have to take the bike once it's unlocked and go up a hill, which is a very steep hill. We see Brad and Evan do, they're like much further ahead than Mark. So the two of them are close. Brad is riding the bike with Evan pretty close behind him. The women, I don't think any of them rode the bike at all. Rachel was the one narrating, being like, yeah, this is way too steep. So she just runs up the hill with the bike, but it worked.
It was definitely tough. It looked like a very difficult bike ride. So I don't blame them.
We get to the next one. That's back off. They have to, at this point, link up with a partner. They have to chain themselves to a big iron ring that it's chained to themselves and their partner. Brad gets there first by like seconds, basically. So he's going to get the first woman to show up. Evan gets there right behind Brad, is going to end up having to wait for Brittany. And then Mark gets there before Rachel does, but now he has to wait for Anissa, who is trying to get anywhere while wearing no pants. It doesn't look great for Mark.
Yeah. Well, it's, I did think it was very funny when Evan does say that he's gonna have to wait until after Brad and Rachel have already crossed the finish line, and poor Mark, he might be up here till the sun sets. Yeah. So that was a good line. But it's a good thing that Evan otherwise does not freak out.
Oh, no, not at all. Definitely isn't screaming to Brittany of all people. Like, who's had a bad word to say about Brittany this whole challenge? And Evan is screaming off the mountain, hurry the F up, you stupid B. Brittany? Yeah. That's who we're talking to like this? And like, I mean, this is just standard for Evan. Like this isn't even just like, oh, he's being extra. This is how he talks to women.
It's so weird because he's screaming incredibly misogynistic things over and over and over. And then as soon as they're paired up, he is, all right, come on, sweetie. We can win $100,000. All we got to do, come on, sweetie. Let's go, sweetie. Sweetie. Floored to see the juxtaposition. And that's the thing is like, if you had asked Evan at the time, like, are you a misogynist? Like, are you treating these women horribly? Like, I think he would genuinely be like, what? Like, like he does not think that that's what he's doing. I think it's like a horrible like lens on the culture at the time. And I just don't think this was that irregular, which is what's so unfortunate, but it's obviously so horrible.
I mean, like, I don't want to hear from Evan in 2026, but like, there's a little part of me that would just be so curious to hear, like, him at least acknowledge that this is such shitty behavior. You think so? Like, I don't know him well enough. Luckily,
neither do I.
No. I'm just like, I feel like I don't like remember him well enough. I haven't heard from him in years to know, like, he could be even shittier now. I don't know.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Oh, that's the thing. It's actually wait a minute. Weren't they at like a certain golf
Mar-a-Lago?
course?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe he wouldn't. I don't know. I just like I really just like think the best of people. I'm such a innocent
Of
soul.
Evan, take that somewhere else.
I'm just an innocent soul. I'm sorry. I just like to think that people have regret for their horrible actions after
Yeah.
nine, but
Well,
yeah, that's not always true.
I don't know about that. Truly, why is Anissa not wearing pants? I mean, I think it's from the ocean when they were in the water portion. Like she just,
I
I don't
do
know.
wonder if the river swept them away.
I think so.
It's also possible.
So Rachel and Brad take off together. Rachel's funny. She's like, well, I was hoping I would get Evan, but whatever. She's gonna
Yeah.
obviously have no choice in this. Brad, the portion of the final here that's really gonna start to get bad for him. He says that he's battling a lot of injuries in this final. So his legs are cramping up on him. I mean, just to think in like terms of recency of what we've seen, it's not the same thing, but it's a little bit of like Turbo, just like in the final of 41, like just not able to move. And it's just like, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? But their bodies locking up on them for whatever reason.
I feel like there's some excuses going on here, to be
Oh,
honest.
that too.
I think that Brad, I mean, first of all, did just kind of have the shit beaten out of him by Landon. So, like, don't get me wrong, Landon throws me into the ground once, and
And I say thank you.
Okay, well, that's for you. I am out of commission for a year. So impressive that Brad's running this final at all. But when later we get to Brad being like, and then my chain caught and like whatever, I'm like, did it. Did it.
I just was thinking about Chappelle listening to these podcasts, and I know how much he judges me whenever I get like this about someone on the show. And then I'm just like, now I'm like second. I'm thinking through like that's no. I'm just like Chappelle says worse, but he likes to give me such shit when I'm being thirsty on a podcast.
Yeah, let your thirst fly.
Well,
you enjoy
more shaming me for it.
Chappelle can, I don't know.
It's fine. He can do whatever.
It's with love.
Well, I just want to talk to Chappelle more, and he's too busy for all of us. Or at least
I did really enjoy the one time where I forget what we were talking. It was like, oh, like this one podcaster, like, oh, imagine like his significant other hearing it and Jofo jumping in and being like, I listen to my husband thirst every podcast.
Meanwhile, Chappelle shaded us on the most recent, or not by the time this comes out, but a recent Club Condo. I think it was. He was talking about how sometimes you get to go on a guest on a podcast and they send you a Skype link.
Did he name names?
No, he said they know who they are.
God.
And I said it has been 2 or 3 years since that has happened. Relax.
He's so rude. He shades me all the time. It's very rude.
He's just like checking to see if we're listening, and I am. Anyway, so we got to give credit here because one man is not screaming at a woman. Mark Long is being nice to Anissa, and I don't know if he wants credit for that, but he's saying it in a way of like, I'm not going to scream at Anissa. I'm like, well, bravo. Good job.
I give him all the credit. I'm not gonna lie. Like for the culture, for the time, especially for the challenge men, especially. Like I'm grading on a curve, unfortunately.
No, I know.
And like Mark is a gem here. Like truly, like much nicer than just come on, sweetie. Like he is very patient.
Yeah. So the two of them eventually link up and they're going to start trying to catch up. It's not going to work. We get to push over, which is, a variation. All of these are variations of just like basically named the same as the duels, but like barely actually something to do with the duels, besides like dual pole dancing where they did have to climb a pole. They have to push a sled across a line that is filled with a bunch of dirt. You can take some of the dirt out to make the sled lighter. And eventually you have to get your key from the chest, free yourself from the ring you're tied to with your partner, and then go. Brad has a lot of complaints about Rachel here, saying that Rachel is just like coaching, get more dirt out, but not actually helping.
I love being coached on how to dig dirt. Do more.
Get it out of there, and then we can push it, and then we can go, and then we can win. So he felt like she wasn't helping enough. She says at the reunion that she was helping, and Brad's like, oh, that must have been on like the secret footage that they're hiding away to show in the future.
Rachel Robinson, known liar from everything else she says in the reunion.
I mean, like not even for a second can I side with Rachel here. Like, where's the footage? What do you mean you were helping? Anyway,
I don't believe her at all.
Eventually they finish, they run for it. Evan and Brittany are going to catch up pretty well here. They both are digging much more than Rachel was. And then they finish. Now they need to run fast and catch up with the other two. We get to the final duel. It is elevator. And was Brittany even there with Rachel, Brad, and Evan? I didn't
Does not
see.
seem like it.
No, right? It's the actual elevator. So there's now 6 of these elevator chain cages set up in the duel arena, the main duel arena that we've been in all season. Rachel gets there first. Brad and Evan are both there around the exact same time. So let's just say Rachel's going to end up winning for the women, obviously. But the close race here between Evan and Brad, truly a photo finish that, even knowing that this happens, still like took my breath away, like watching how close it was.
I forgot that it happened. It really was crazy. It's under 1 second, I would say, where Brad just didn't run to the elevator. He walked. Brad, says his chain jams. Certain things, a fraction of a second could have changed the winner we had. Brad could have got his first win much earlier. I think it's crazy. It's one of the closest finishes I think we've ever gotten.
I think it's the closest. I can't
Probably.
think of anything that could have possibly been closer. Evan gets to the platform to get the check, and Brad is the step behind him. Like,
It's so
Evan
crazy.
just outmuscled him to get in front of him with literal seconds on the line.
Brad should have tripped him.
I think he gets out of his elevator before it was like all the way down, but I don't know if that, like, I think that was allowed because the balls came down from the thing that like signify that you're done. I don't know.
I thought so too. But genuinely, Brad should have pushed him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was like, if it's like allowed, but like, I'm sorry, that is the difference of $65,000. Like, oops.
I mean, would have made history. Truly, like, I would not be questioning Brad being on the Challenge 42 if it's like, oh yeah, he's the guy that pushed someone out of the way to go win $100,000.
And like, if you're gonna push someone, let it be Evan Starkman.
Yeah, really.
Like,
and Evan would have just yelled at some woman instead to not actually be mad at Brad. Rachel and Evan are our winners here. Rachel getting her second challenge win, first individual win, and then Evan getting his first win, which doesn't feel correct, but it is. Kenny's already gotten 2. Bananas has gotten his first one, but Evan gets a win here. And look, it is impressive. I mean, just getting past Landon, which he didn't directly take out Landon, but Evan goes into 3 eliminations over the course of the season, had a big target on his back, and pulls out this like extremely clutch come from behind win to get past Brad. It's impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely a really good win. I don't think that this male cast, especially once Adam and CT get removed, is as strong as like the Duel 1 cast. So I don't think it's like the best of all time, but I think it's a very solid win.
It really is. When we get to the reunion, we're talking, of course, about how this all went down. Again, Brad talks about the injuries that he had, and Brad's going to blame it on Rachel being slow with the digging. If Rachel had only been faster, he thinks he might have gotten it done in time. I think he's right.
I think that there's any multitude of things that it could have been, whether it's Brad not walking at points, to stop down with the ring. So it really could have been anything, one of which is Rachel.
Yeah.
But like at the same time,
yeah,
Brad had the best female partner. So like, I don't know that you can blame her that much, even if she was slacking.
I mean, I don't think Brittany's too far off. I know Rachel won, but I think Brittany is
running wise.
Yeah,
I think she's a little further back.
I mean, obviously she gets there pretty behind Evan, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Where is she? But yeah, Mark and Anissa eventually show up at the finish line as well. They finish it all out. They do the elevator, even though obviously they're in third place. Mark's like, yeah, I could have left Anissa behind, but we were going to finish this together. And Anissa really appreciated it.
He basically did the elevator for her.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing. I don't know if that should have been allowed. Like, where it's always like you have to finish in order to get your money. I'm whatever on it because I don't actually care about that all that much. But if those were the rules, I don't know if Mark standing at the bottom doing Anissa's elevator is kosher.
Yeah. Well, let me talk real quick about all of these 6 players and when we're going to see them again. I'll start with Mark and Anissa. Mark is going to be back one more time before All Stars, and that is 5 seasons away. So he really, he gets a segment at this reunion about like, Mark, what took you out of retirement? And he's talking about how easy the challenges were, which like gets people to roll their eyes. But he says basically he talked to production and they said it was going to be a format that he would like, and he knew a lot of people coming out, and he felt like he still had juice in the tank, so he wanted to come back and do it again.
If Oh my God. People treat Mark like he's so old. If people call me grandpa at 37, I I will do worse than what Landon did to Brad in that elimination.
Mark's story in this entire season is every episode someone is talking about how old he is.
It's so funny because he's now mid 50s, still competing on the
Yep.
challenge occasionally.
Yep. Evan in the spelling bee challenge is like, oh, this isn't fair because Mark's had so many more years to learn how to spell different
Yep.
words.
Yep.
Crazy. But yeah, Mark, he's back here. But 5 seasons from now will be his next run, and that'll be it before All Stars. Also, we get an update that, by the way, Robin is pregnant. She's expecting. But Mark
9 months.
makes sure. No, she's about to pop. Mark wanted to tell us, especially that it's not his.
You know, that's a good clarification. I think that in my head, I thought Robin had her kids after she was done with the challenge. So I don't remember like Robin the mom showing back up, but
Yeah.
good for Robin.
We have Anissa, who is going to take another little break here. She'll be back in 4 seasons from now.
Whoa, is that the longest break we ever get from Anissa?
Well, she just had a break of some sort. So she, but no, that 3 season. No, it's not the longest. So she's off for seasons 18, 19, and 20, and then she'll be off again. Oh, wait, no, 28 and 29 is only 2 seasons. She's off 32, 33, and 34.
Okay, so
2
that's
breaks
crazy.
of 3 seasons apart. Yeah.
I'm
As
always
far
amazed.
as Brittany goes, Brittany is never going to return. We've talked about that.
Which is crazy to me. Maybe she didn't want to do it. I know people all the time are like, bring back Heather Cook. Where is Heather Cook? To me, bring back Brittany. I'm more interested in Brittany.
Not to call you out, but you said that exact sentence in the last podcast.
I believe it.
I feel so passionately
strongly.
anti Heather Cook and pro Brittany Sherrod. Look, I like it. I'm going to start saying it too.
You should, honestly, and I'll say it on the first All Stars appearance.
Brad will be back next season. He'll be on 2 of the next 3 seasons, but then that's it till Vendettas.
Wow.
So pretty big break coming for Brad, as he does start the family with Tori. But you know, by Vendettas, that's over.
It's a real job.
Yeah. But he'll be back next season. And then our winners here, we have Evan, who is also back next season. Luckily, not for good reasons, but luckily we only have 2 more Evan seasons to go before he is done.
Yeah.
We're getting closer.
It's so odd. We'll talk about it more, but like remembering that Evan and Kenny come back after next season is so weird.
Yep. Rachel has also 1 more challenge in her before we get to the All-Stars realm. That's 5 seasons from now as well. So her and Mark both about to sit out for 4 seasons, come back for Battle of the Exes 1, right? And that's it. It's funny that Mark says, you know, it's not my baby from Robin. And then when they come back together, they're competing as exes.
Oh, yeah, it is interesting. This is not like the season that I would have necessarily expected them both to want to come back for because like I didn't think that Mark would want to be paired with Robin and that Rachel would want to be paired with Anissa, but I guess here we are.
No, that's the crazy part. I mean, we're about to get to the reunion, which let's start with Rachel and Anissa. Or actually just there's nobody missing attendance wise that I feel like I would have expected to be there.
By placement, there are many more women here than there are men. By placement, we would be missing MJ, Derek, and Easy, but like I'm okay with it.
I mean, yeah, we're not missing anybody. Maybe like why is Jen there? But I guess because of the Rachel and Anissa drama, like there's people that don't need to be. Yeah, but anyway, so we get into everything with the Rachel and Jen and Anissa of it all. Rachel is just a like is liar the right way to put it? Like the best term for it? She's just,
I think so.
Yeah, she just doesn't want to share anything about her personal life, despite being on the challenge with cameras in her face. And anything that comes up, oh, did you and Anissa hook up? No. Anissa's like, yeah, we did. Everyone knows that we did. Did you and Jen hook up? Yeah. Just like everything that she's got a boyfriend, not a boyfriend. She's got a girlfriend she's seeing now. And she's hiding that. Apparently her and Evan had sex this season and she's denying it, but everyone knows that it happened.
Supposedly.
Why is she hiding everything?
I mean, I just think like if you want to try to lie about it, fine, but it's weird when everyone is saying it happened and then you're still going, no, I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what everyone is talking about. No, Like I think I would be getting more mad if everyone was lying. Like I would be screaming, like, "Don't you do this to me? Like this never happened. What are you talking about?"
And
It's so weird.
Anissa needs to get up, like, because she's just so at Rachel's like, oh, we're friends, so I don't want to expose her, but I'm going to tell
Yep.
you every single thing that I think about this situation. But I love you, Rachel, and we're still good. Like we're best friends. Like they do seem like they have a good friendship going that they've rekindled, but she still wants to expose Rachel for lying at every turn.
Yeah. I did think it was very interesting Maria's transition into talking about this when she goes, "Speaking of lesbians, oh, I wasn't. Okay, well, speaking of lesbians, like what?"
Crazy stuff. Plus, then we get where so she's asking why they broke up, why Rachel and Anissa broke up. Which, by the way, more context here that apparently they were together for 5 months. Anissa says that she remembers that because her lease was up and then she had to move out. And Rachel goes, "Anissa, that's the one. This is the one thing that I don't like that you do." And Anissa goes, "What? Remember dates?" Which got a good laugh
Remember
from the
things.
audience.
It
Yeah.
was so funny. Remember things was so funny. I really, I don't know. I was really enjoying Anissa on
Oh,
this reunion.
she had such a good reunion because she also gets Evan here where she's talking again. Maria's like, Rachel and Anissa, why did you break up? Evan's like, oh, I got a funny line. I got to get it out there. Anissa, her haircut, which by the way, she's now got full blonde head going, like very short hair.
It's
But
like a bleached blonde, cropped,
very
cropped.
bleached, very blonde. And Evan's like, oh, Anissa got that haircut. And Rachel was like, I'm out. Anissa's like, Evan, I have more hair on my head than you do.
Mm,
And everyone just jaw dropped. So got his ass.
yeah. Which can we talk about the shit that should have shown that supposedly Anissa and Evan were hooking up in some manner?
Apparently, Anissa gave Evan a hand job.
Multiple happy endings is the rumor, which Mark makes a racist joke about in there, so that's great.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, wait. Dunbar was the one that got the happy ending, right?
Oh, you're right. It was Dunbar. Never mind. It wasn't Evan. No, look at me. I'm spreading false.
Or look, everyone was hooking up around here, so things are all over the place. Yeah, it was Evan and Rachel that apparently had sex.
Evan and Rachel. Yes.
Dunbar gets a lot of comments where we're going to get to the Dunbar and Paula and Kim of it all in a second, but that he was hooking up with everybody. Apparently, he got a hand job from Anissa, and she's like, "What?
Yes.
People do that in middle school. What do you want? What do you want? Who cares?" So there's that. We also hear about how Brittany wanted to crawl in bed with Rachel and Anissa and just give it a shot, and that didn't actually happen, but she was down for it. Brittany and Paula kissed at one point. Brittany says she liked it. On the topic of Rachel and Jen, I don't know if he was being serious or not, but Isaac said he pleasured himself to the sounds of them pleasuring each other.
Yes. I don't think that Isaac is ever serious, but also did this happen? Maybe.
Probably. With the Jen and Rachel of it all, they say that they are not still sleeping together. And Jen is taking a very big, like, I don't care about what happened attitude, even though it does seem like she kind of cares. I feel like she's not thrilled with Rachel after all of this. Maybe feels like Rachel went running back to Anissa, who Jen did not like Anissa, and how much she was breaking the two of them apart throughout the season. So Jen not happy right now.
Yeah. I think that Jen is interesting. I wonder, like, I don't remember if Rachel and Jen ever have any interaction again, if Jen ever has any interaction with a woman in this way again. But it feels like Jen hooks up with Rachel and then is mad that people know she hooks up with Rachel.
Which is so weird, because it's been happening 2 seasons now very publicly. Like she's running from the cameras, but like, I don't know, you figure yourself out there.
Yep.
I guess we could talk about Dunbar. We just were. So Dunbar again gets his spot blown up, which he did it to himself, obviously. He had a girlfriend at home, but he was still Paula this day, Kim that day, hand job from Anissa that day.
Oop. Yeah. Apparently Dunbar hooked up with half the house, so that's interesting. Maria saying like, Dunbar, you always seem to have a girlfriend, but you're always acting like you don't. Pretty good read.
Yeah. He talks. So he said they said that Paula and Dunbar didn't have sex on the challenge, but they have in the past.
Yes.
And as far as the relationship with Kim is concerned, that Dunbar claims it was just a bunch of makeouts, but also then claims, what did I maybe just fall in love with Kim? Maybe fall in love.
Fall in love is crazy. Yeah, they have had sex after the show, it seems like. So there
Mhm.
was something. They tried dating. It was very clear that it wasn't going to work out from basically the first time they visited each other. So I am not so surprised.
No, Paula and Kimberly end up like teaming up on Dunbar, which like he wasn't expecting and totally throws him
Vaguely.
off. Yeah, just like both of them have negative things to say about him to an extent. And he's just like, whoa, 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 I was nice to both of you. And they're like, I
Yeah.
don't know about that.
What do these two crazy women get together? Like he's like it's so annoying.
By the way, Paula has a new boyfriend who is not from the challenge.
Sure.
Sure. But yeah, Dunbar just out here, living his life, even though he had a girlfriend back home. But anyway.
When they
Um,
ask who's single, Kim's like, as of Saturday. I'm like, oh, like, this was recent. Okay.
Paula, we also talk about her and Evan's friendship, which by the way that they're talking about it feels like it's not in a good place, but everyone on stage is like they're best friends. Like, don't believe them.
Yeah, Paul is like, I would never be stupid enough to trust him again in the game and even out of the game. There is some discrepancy of Paula was gonna have to pick Nehemiah to protect Evan because Nehemiah was gonna call out Evan. So, but she had talked to MJ, and Paula's like, "That's not even what this is about. Why are you lying?" And then apparently Evan kept telling her and gave her notes that's like, "I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna bring you back in." So like, we're gonna screw DM over, and then never actually did anything. So I feel like Evan does actually care about Paula. I think there's a chance that he would be loyal to her in a future season, but never had any intention of actually fixing it this season.
100%. Also, where is Evan living right now? Because she says Paula's like, Evan doesn't even live in the country.
Well, I mean, he's from Canada.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So that
Like it was giving like, got his winning money and just like moved somewhere else, but I
yeah.
totally forgot he's Canadian. Okay, fair. Point taken. We passed earlier because obviously these two aren't even here, but CT versus Adam obviously comes up. I mean, it just every aspect of this entire sequence of events just gets crazier and crazier the more details you hear about it.
I think maybe the craziest part of all of it was when Maria says, DM, it kind of puts you in a bad position because it makes it look like it's all your fault. No. Like CT saying that he's going to bash Adam's head in and eat it is not DM's fault.
Obviously, yeah. I mean,
Like,
but are we
come
going
on,
to always
Maria.
still find a way to pin it onto a woman? Yeah, of course, on the challenge.
Mhm.
Mark says that production was telling them to break it up, which is crazy. Look at CT, and you're telling your talent to break that up. Like you should have security, but they probably learned their lesson there.
Yeah.
Siobhan and her role in all of this. Kim says that Siobhan is a dirty, dirty whore, and everyone knows it.
I did laugh, unfortunately.
She said, "What? I woke up to dirty sex noises. I didn't want to hear that."
She's like, what? It's true. It's true.
Rachel
Oh,
says that
no.
CT shouldn't be allowed back on the show.
Yeah, she's like actively campaigning in the reunion in the shit they should have shown. It is very firmly like this is not a safe person. He should never be back on the show. And she has no qualms about saying it. I think she's right.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have seen so much of CT since then to know that he has grown as a person. Did we
Kind of.
need to get that chance? It's like such a complicated question, I guess, for someone, for anyone who has watched CT to this day, that yeah, he turned a lot of things in his life around. He was in a really dark place, but it's just like so clear from this moment that I don't know, it's complicated.
If you got news that CT beat the shit out of someone on season 42, would you be shocked right now?
I mean, of course not, because you can like look back to that he's done it before. So no.
That's my thing is like, okay, we get the story of CT, it has changed, but then we also like get behind the scenes of like CT is not as nice as the edit that he gets. We had seen, CT and Fessel just like screaming at each other. Like, I think that's there. And I think I'm glad that CT has grown. I think that CT is going through another hard time and probably should not be on TV again. But I don't think that CT needs to be on TV. I don't think that people who have taken it as far as CT should be back on TV, whether it be him or other people on the challenge, which are also actively given platforms. So
it's again, the details here just get crazier and crazier. We hear about Adam's bloody handprints while he was running around the house. The two of them obviously had to get flown home separately. Imagine them on the same flight. Like, please, that just the plane is not
Yeah,
making it to
the
its
plane is
destination.
crashing. Yeah, exactly.
Apparently they ended up at the same hospital after all of this to get checked out, and like they just could not have seen each other because the rage that CT had, like, but apparently they ended up in the same place, and whoever like had chaperoned them there were like, oh shit, this isn't good. But I guess
CT
they
pulled the plug on Adam.
like
Like,
he would have. A lot of talk about, I don't even know if we've talked about this to this point. I feel like we must have, that CT and Isaac almost got into the fight right before the night
yeah,
before.
we find out CT tried to pick fights with both Isaac and Dunbar. We also find out that CT tried to actively rekindle things with DM and she turned him down.
Yeah.
And so that's probably another launching point as to why this happened. Not that it's her fault, but just context of why he was so uncontrollable. Also, we've obviously talked about the fact that apparently his brother was just murdered before he was on this season. So, like, in no way, shape, or form should he have been here.
The onesies that they had in that whole sequence
Amazing.
of events apparently got taken away by production.
Yeah, I think we did talk about that very vaguely, or at least briefly. I thought the shots of like Jen getting into big fights and everyone is wearing a onesie are so funny. I love a onesie personally.
Well, because again, CT is getting into the car when he gets taken away with the onesie that Adam had been wearing. So I was just like, what just happened?
Yeah, I forget whatever lead producer was like, these look horrible on camera, take them back.
I'm disappointed because a whole season of onesies probably goes higher in my rankings than this one ultimately will. Not that this is going to go super low. We'll get there in a second, but a whole season of onesies, sign me up. And for me, the only other like big thing that, or a big topic that we have, of course, is checking in on Brad and Tori, who there's been rumors. Are you guys engaged? Are you not engaged? They are engaged. They are doing well. Tori's talking about none of that was, for camera time. That was our real lives on camera. But she wants to spend the rest of her life with Brad. And she realized that the money in the game wasn't worth that. They are together. They are still, everything is good.
I believe they're together and getting married because we know they do. I also believe that the rumors were true that they had broken up multiple times after they had been on the show.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, there's I think these rumors were swirling in a pretty big way for a reason. And then the random bits of news that we haven't covered so far. Brooke just moved in with her girlfriend, from someone who was on A Shot at Love. Look at that.
Look, A Shot at Love with a woman who probably shouldn't even be mentioned at this point. I'm curious. I don't think that's the same girlfriend as now, but who knows?
Who knows? Somebody who I'm always happy to mention, Katie. Katie got engaged. Don't know if this is the same person, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Currently married to.
Gotta check. Is his last name Cooley/Doyle?
Yeah, I don't know. Right off the plane at the airport, when she got home, apparently she got proposed to, and she said yes. Why isn't Katie at the reunion? What are you doing?
I love Katie. Sorry, I just had to say it.
We get a preview for the Real World Cancun. Look at Jasmine and John A. and Derek and anybody else notable.
There's definitely people that I remember.
Yeah,
CJ's there.
Yeah.
I want to watch it so bad. I won't lie. I was like, I want to do the Real World rewatch. So maybe one day.
I would say between the reunion and the shit they should have shown, I don't have anything else. I mean, you mentioned earlier that something worse that they showed in the shit they should have shown. They don't show Isaac doing blackface as much in the regular episode as they do in the shit they should have shown. I was alarmed.
Yep. A lot. And everyone's just like very casually talking about it. There's so many clips of people just like hee ha-haing with him in blackface. And it really is like crazy that those clips just exist for them.
Yeah.
That's horrible. I mean,
it's the reunion and the shit they should have shown are both not on Paramount Plus, obviously, given all of this. So yeah. Insane. Anything else though between either of the two episodes that I didn't mention?
Just some silly moments. I love we got the story of Nick Brown, who you remembered well coming into the season, but very very briefly there. Apparently brought his business card to the challenge, and it credits himself as a reality TV personality, and it just says Nick Brown. It's a movement, and I think that is one of the funniest things that I've heard.
He does come back, right? He
does come back
next season.
So we'll see if that's what you're.
I'm ready to see the movement.
Let's see the movement. It's
I'm
so
ready
funny.
for
They
it.
they give each other all other nicknames like Evan, he'll call you back. Like or like random things. Like Paula, she loves the pizza. Like random ass taglines. I think it's so funny. That's one of my favorite things. And then Mark and Rachel at the Halloween party dress up as some guy and one of my heroes. Did you catch
Oh,
this? They
no.
dress up as Brett Michaels and Megan Hauserman from Rock of Love. Megan, who
Uh,
I have been arguing should be on The Traitors, House of Villains, etc. Look at how iconic she was. She was a Halloween costume on the challenge.
and when she shows up, I'm going to say, I know her from
Oh,
Scally Telling Stories.
I love her so much.
Yeah, no, it was some fun clips mixed in with some horrific and horrifying ones. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, glad to get those in there.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, I'm all out of topics from those two.
Yeah, I think we've at least briefly mentioned almost everything else. So,
There we go.
unless you want to talk about Katie fighting again, Davis pushing Katie like legitimately, like had a real fight with Katie and pushed her off the deck. But otherwise, I'm good.
Katie can handle herself.
She said as much. She's like, I had a brother. I'm fine.
I forget, is Davis done? No, I feel like he's got one more. Yeah, he has got one more
Okay.
season, 4 seasons from now, and
Ah.
don't think he'll be there that long. Anyway, let's start with the season rankings and put this one in the midst of all of the other 16 seasons that we have watched so far. Do we do the reset of? Do we say it every time? I don't know.
Sure. No, we have going in order from top to bottom: the Inferno 2, the Duel, Battle of the Sexes, the Gauntlet 2, Fresh Meat, Challenge 2000, Road Rules All Stars, the Gauntlet 3, the Seasons, Battle of the Sexes 2, Real World Road Rules Challenge, the Inferno 3, Extreme Challenge, the Island, and the Gauntlet all the way down at the bottom. The Duel 2, he needs to find its place. Lagoria, are you looking at top half, bottom half? Should we start there?
I'm looking. Well, you missed an option there. I'm looking at the middle.
Okay. Well, that sounds good.
That's where I'm looking. I don't know. Are you feeling like it's higher middle or lower middle than maybe I might be thinking? I'm thinking like firmly middle.
I definitely do think middle is fair. I think some people rate this very highly. I saw a ranking recently that had like tier listing the seasons, and they had this as the absolute highest tier, and I just don't agree with that.
I don't know. Like I can't speak to this person's tier, list or whatever, but I mean, sometimes I wonder, this is probably someone's first season and maybe there's that extra element,
For sure.
but who knows? So here's where I'm at when I'm looking at these lists, these rankings. Every time that we do this, I feel like I keep getting tripped up on the Challenge 2000 Road Rules All Star spot. Is
Yeah.
that? Do you get what I'm saying? Like because
I think that's fair.
I just put like I'm like, wait, I don't know if I think it's like because then when I'm comparing it to Fresh Meat, which is above those two, and the Gauntlet 3, which is below those two, I'm like so focused on those two, and I'm like, but the show in the middle is a different show, so I just don't know what to do with those, and it gets really confusing. And I'm like, are those too high? But like the nostalgia of them when we watch them, I know that we enjoyed them,
Yeah.
so that's what makes it tough for me.
What's your instinct?
Well, my instinct is those are too high.
Well,
So-
no, I don't want to move. I think I like their placement in terms of what's below them. I would rather watch Road Rules All Stars than the Gauntlet 3 right now.
Gotcha. Well, so then if we're just talking about does the Duel go above or below those seasons, I'm gonna have to say it goes above those seasons, personally.
I'm good with that. I think I agree. I think that while they have super fun moments and there are definitely things that I would love to revisit, I think the Duel 2 is more of like a real challenge season. There's more there. I don't think it has the most drama. I don't think that it has the most interesting game structure where I feel like it's pretty straightforward who's going in week after week and there's not a lot of surprises. So that is unfortunate about it. And is the reason why it's not climbing that high on my list.
Yeah, I would say just if I was placing it straight up right here, right now, I'm probably just dropping it below Fresh Meat and above Challenge 2000. I feel like when you just to like talk about the season as a whole here, the Duel 2, it's got a lot going for it. It's got a lot of different storylines from different people, which is about to make our Mount Rushmore for the whole season pretty challenging. I'm guessing.
Yep.
I don't have a locked in 4 names. I have a handful of names, and that's a good thing for the season that we are all across the board. Like, one storyline goes out, and all of a sudden we're in on the love triangle between Jen, Anissa, and Rachel, and it's like, oh, that like the seeds were there, but now it's like really picking up, and there's something new to carry us forward. The Brad and Tori of it all really starts towards the back half of the season. So it's like we don't, I guess, have time in the episodes to talk about every single one of these stories along the way, but we check in with Brad and Tori, and then when things get bad, we're seeing it. And so just having a wide variety of story was good, but I would say for the most part, the highs of the dramatic moments did not reach the highs as, for me, all of the seasons that we have above it.
I totally agree. I think this is the perfect spot for it, where it's interesting, it's a good format, but it's not played super interestingly. There's not as much drama. There's one really, 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 really all-time dramatic moment right at the beginning, and then everything else is good.
Also, like, who are you rooting for this season?
That's a great question. I mean, I always love DM, so I'm happy with DM. I didn't have like necessarily all of my favorites here though.
Yeah, that's just like, it's not that I had nobody to root for. Like, I liked plenty of people, but like, I'm not sitting here like, I'm really, really rooting for anybody.
Katie.
Well, yeah, of course. All right, so then we'll leave it there. It becomes our 7th rated season, our number 7 season out of 17 seasons so far. It's below Fresh Meat, and it's above Challenge 2000. So there's that.
I think that works for me. I think that's good. I think that a number of these seasons below the Duel 2 will end up getting pushed down over time.
Yes. And by the way, just to reference again, the Duel 1 is at spot number 3. This is number 7. So
True.
Look at the duels doing pretty
Duel
well.
Duel 1's better.
Yeah. Not as good as the 2 Infernos back to back, or the first 2 Infernos, taking the top 2 spots so far. But we'll see if anything comes for those.
I hope we get a Duel 3. I'd be very happy.
We're getting a Cutthroat too. It's not impossible.
No, it really excites me.
Confessional count before we get into the Mount Rushmore of the season. We do finish the season with almost feels like a historic level of a runaway for the leading person. Great. We've had people in the lead before, but Evan has 100 confessionals. The next highest person, strangely, is somebody eliminated 3 episodes ago, Paula. She did not lose her lead. It's 100 for Evan, 61 for Paula. Brad has 58, Rachel has 57, Anissa has 54, DM has 50, and then Landon, Brittany, MJ, Mark, Tori, people that made it deeper into the season are all towards the top. Derek McRae somehow above MJ, Mark, and Tori. Okay.
My guy.
Not a ton other really, I feel like, to report on here other than, again, Evan's like runaway with the confessionals.
Yeah, totally. I think it's so interesting that he is so far ahead. I would not have expected it to be this drastic. For Paula, it's crazy that she holds second place when even like Brad has his last 2 episodes with 11 confessionals and 18 confessionals, and he still can't pass Paula, who's been gone for 3 or 4 weeks. Like, that's wild.
Yeah, I mean, Brad's beginning of the season, he has a 2, a 4, a 3, a 1. So, you gotta be coming in hot. But he was not. So let's talk about the season's Mount Rushmore. It sounds like you're on the same page as me. It's just I have some names, I just don't have 4.
I'm excited because I feel like it is not the absence of names. There are definitively probably like 7 names that I could see putting myself on here.
Yeah, I narrowed it down to 6 with like a loose 7th. Do we want to start with a bunch of people that are not in consideration, or just tell me if so basically like all of the early boots for the most part are not. I know we'll probably have a discussion here about CT, but just about everybody else I would say I don't have on. I don't have MJ, Derek, Eric, Isaac, Nehemiah, Davis, Ryan, Nick, Adam, Jen, Kimberly, Ruthie, Katie, Brooke, Robin, Siobhan. They're all off the table.
If you got eliminated before episode 7, I don't want to hear it outside of CT.
Do you want to make a case for CT?
I think that for CT, if I think about the Duel 2, one of those moments that I first think of is CT chasing Adam around the house and saying, "I'm going to smash your head and eat it." It is the most iconic moment of the season. There is absolutely no question in my mind. I think that if you were to say what is like one moment, like, okay, like each season we have one moment that we think of. This is the moment. So I think CT is firmly in there with a chance for me.
So I this may like make zero sense, but it's just the way that I feel, so I'm gonna say it anyway.
Okay.
I feel like I view that fight in that moment as just a moment from the challenge. I'll never remember that that was on the Duel 2. Like
I
that's
get
not
that.
something that stands out to me like, oh, that was from this season. It was an episode and it could have happened at any point. So for me, I do have an easier time separating the two.
I totally get that. I also like, in 2 years, if you ask me what season was it on, I like might get there. But like that's probably the case for a lot of the moments.
Right.
So I can totally understand why that is an argument, but I think ultimately it did happen on this season, so it's still in contention.
Let me hit you with a couple more names that I have not in final contention here.
Okay.
Mark Long.
Same. Gone.
Yeah. Brittany.
Yeah, unfortunately, like for me, this is like it being Britney's only season and me apparently being the number one Britney stan.
I like Brittany.
Well, as much as me. Did you bring it on
Well,
both
I just
podcasts?
didn't know that we had to like tear down Heather Cook in order to get Brittany some love.
Sorry, it's the rules. So I do wish that there was a spot for her, but there is definitively not.
Unfortunately, I feel the same for DM.
I agree. DM is missing for large portions of the season. She largely just becomes the Paula replacement, and that's unfortunate, but good season, not a starring season.
The final name that I have is a no. But like there's enough of a case, I guess, to at least consider it. But the top grouping above this person is just too many people. I can't see myself saying that Dunbar should be up there.
I totally agree. I think that Dunbar is a notable figure from the season, but not top four.
If he's going to be included there, it'll be through Paula, who is just somebody that I do have towards the top of the list. Let me just tell you the next lowest name that I have out of all the remaining 7 names here. Curious your thoughts. I have Anissa as the next lowest.
I agree. This is not Anissa season. I don't think she has like no claim to the season at all, but not top four for me. I think that she comes and goes in terms of relevancy on the season, and I think other people are involved in her storylines are more prevalent in other storylines.
Yeah, her story just it pops in such a big way again when like the love triangle breaks out, but that
Yep.
happens so late into the season, and we're gonna have to just look at it. I look at the confessional chart. I'm looking at it now. It's 4-4-3, 1-3-1, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like so truly just in the back couple of episodes, it's like, all right, Anissa's got something going on, but that's not enough to overcome the rest of the people up here. So yet again,
Yeah.
Anissa not making a challenge Mount Rushmore. She has been around for so long, and she is not on a single Mount Rushmore that we have.
Nope, not yet.
Often,
Not yet.
often considered like a number 5 or 6 or something like that, but
Not even this time for me.
not this time. All right. Well, should we start to maybe put a name or two on?
Okay, if that's what I think that could be a safe move. Is there a first name that you have?
Well, I think the first name that we have to at least consider here or discuss is the person we just mentioned is the runaway confessionalist. Is Evan on for you?
Evan is very obviously on for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we've of course had plenty of situations where the winner is not included in the Mount Rushmore. So I was wondering if that was the case, but this is all Evan all season long.
That's the thing. He's involved in storylines, whether it is because he's winning or because he's, has his game being messed up, whether it be by him or other players. He is drama all the way through. He's the narrator as well. Like granted, a lot of that narration is just shitting on people all the time, but they go to him nonstop. He's the golden boy of this era.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the Miz used to be this kind of guy, this kind of spot.
Yep.
Obviously, the Miz and Evan share, Mount Rushmore right now for the overall men's. It's just like there's always Miz was that guy that was at the top of the confessional chart with a big gap between him and the next person. That's just Evan here. I mean, I imagine that you're not even thinking about Evan moving off of the all-time Mount Rushmore. I mean,
no, this is where I would have put Evan on the Mount Rushmore. I think this is where he is firmly like the guy now, and I think like okay, he could take most people's spots, let alone the spot he ends up taking. I think that firmly for me, this is where like Evan becomes that guy.
Yeah. And I know we already talked about CT. We may swing back around to him, but
For
any
sure.
thoughts on how CT's performance here, changes or whatever his status on the all-time men's?
Solidifies it for me. I think I'm sorry. Like he is one of the most notorious names in the challenge because of this moment.
Yeah, yeah. I
Doesn't
mean,
no way does it make him more likely to come off just because he didn't
no.
last.
The biggest moment, one of the biggest moments in challenge history, not for
Yep.
good reasons. This isn't a good
Horrible.
thing that it happened, but it happened and it's incredibly memorable.
Yep.
Yeah, so just checking in on that. All right, so Evan is going to get a spot. Let me just ask you about the other winner of the season, Rachel. Is she getting one of the 4 spots?
She's in contention, but she is definitely not a lock for my second spot.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think that is fair. She is her story of this season is her and Mark are really good performers. She of course has the added boost of the Anissa Jen situation that gives her more
Yep.
plot along the way. And I feel like she's a pretty present narrator all the way throughout. She is 4th overall in confessionals. So I'm probably like trending towards likely having her on, but I of course grant that there are a handful of names here that all
Sure.
could make sense.
I have someone who I think is more of a lock for number 2.
Okay, go for it.
I think it's Paula.
Okay. I so it's a weird one for Paula. I'm probably not going to find myself disagreeing with you. What it comes down to is just like, first of all, she's out 3 episodes before the end of the game. That
Sure.
doesn't mean, she can't be on. She's still the second highest person on the confessional chart. But it's so weird. I mean, she starts the season off. It's me and Evan. I'm coming back in off the island, and here's one friend that didn't betray me there. So I'm going to be his friend. And then things get messy. But then she disappears for a couple episodes and then comes back, and it's the Paula and Dunbar story until she's eliminated. But all that is to say that she is extremely relevant and extremely a big character on the show.
Yep.
Her story is always followed.
I mean, Paula disappearing still was 5 confessionals, 4 confessionals.
Yeah.
Like she in no way disappeared. Like she was one of like top 5 confessional getters of those episodes.
Yeah.
So I think Paula is extremely present throughout. I think that this is largely her story. This is the season for me where Paula like firmly becomes one of like those girls for the challenge, like in the way that Evan becomes that guy. I think this is more of like a making season for Paula of as a character. I think she's one of the leads, obviously the second most confessionals, and so much of this season was Paula makes a huge mistake, Paula's relationship with Evan, Paula defaulting to Dunbar, Paula being really, really mean to Dunbar all the time. And as much as I found her annoying, I think she is a extremely central figure.
No, like I said, I don't think I'll disagree. If anything, I will actively agree. Get her name on there. It's not a good season for her as far as she, the story is not positive. It's all like us being like, again, is Paula okay? But it's still her story. It's still a story. I would say just looking at the names that we have left, none of them to me are like locks that have to be on. I think there's just, consideration for all of them.
Who can I ask who is still in consideration? Can we reset that board?
Oh, of course. Let me do it alphabetically. It's actually hard to do it alphabetically.
Do it by placement.
By placement, that's no. Well, so Brad and Tori are still there.
Sure.
I was like, I'm not going to separate Brad and Tori just to go by the alphabet. I also have Landon, and then I know hanging on by a thread here is still CT. So, the case for Landon is, I think, pretty clear. He just was the competitor of the season. And I think underlying in every aspect of the competition itself was Landon is dominating. This is Landon's season to lose. And he does.
I totally agree that Landon is a big part of the story, almost though like as a presence looming behind everyone on the season. It's just like Landon's so good. Landon is winning everything. Landon is going to win the season. He doesn't have the most like story in terms of anything going on in the house, in terms of confessionals. His confessionals are really just like, me and my partner Brittany are doing really well. It's like, okay. So I'm very torn where when I think of this season, I do think of how well Landon did, but I'm not that really interested in anything about Landon.
I know. I mean, and I totally hear you on that. It's just, look, and I'm doing my best to take the bias out of how pretty Landon is. But it's just, he is such a beast, and every decision that is made in what did you say, 5 out of the 9 rounds or
Yep.
games or whatever it is, just we spend so much time following him and Brittany. And maybe this is like also a vote for that pair, just all under the name of Landon, because the two of them dominated, and Brittany
Sure.
comes out of nowhere, and it's Landon, Brittany, Rachel, and Mark that are just the whole game. Like everything had to do with them at the very top of the power structure. We spent much more time on Evan and Paula, and that's why they're here first. But like the people that were winning, even if their stories were a little bit more boring, were Landon and Brittany. And I think Landon just has more than Brittany ultimately does. So that's why
Sure.
I have him this high up. But we can come back to him.
To me, he is outranked by Brad and Tori.
Okay, interesting. So Brad and Tori are an interesting one here, right?
Agreed.
Do you want to make the case?
I feel like for Brad and Tori, I forgot how much of this season is really centered around their relationship, around uh at first it being great, in the middle, them having slight issues, and at the end, them having enormous issues. So I just think that this is a constant place that we are going to check in, even if Tori is not getting the most confessionals. I think she is an active member of this cast at all times. I think that they're honestly one of the biggest storylines behind Evan and Paula, which is crazy that Evan and Paula's relationship is at the forefront here when Brad and Tori are like maybe almost going to be getting a broken engagement. But I at all times feel like we are checking in on Brad and Tori. Brad and Tori, they have met on the challenge. They might get divorced before they even get married. So I don't know. I just think there's so much more of them than I had even remembered.
So I think I'm half with you here,
Okay.
in the sense that I'm strongly considering a world where Brad's on and Tori's not.
I know,
Um,
it's weird.
it's weird, and I hate to like put the man out in front here, but like the whole thing between the two of them is Tori doesn't want to be there. She's trying to leave. This isn't a good place for her. And to me, it feels like the whole season for the two of them is presented as Brad, who is obviously a character, a player that we know for so much longer, know him so much better. And he just met Tori. They are now engaged. Well, not just met her. He met her a couple challenges ago. They're engaged now. And it's really just like watching how he tries to navigate
For
his
sure.
game with having all of these guys that he's backed up or that are backing him up, that he's working with. And like he says to whoever along the way, I'm playing 2 different games. I'm trying to play the challenge, but I also have my fiance here who's breaking down at every opportunity. Like I look at Tori's confessional chart, 1, 1, 1, 2. The only big episode for her is 17 episodes and confessionals in episode 9. So
That is crazy.
I just feels like I could very much get behind their inclusion through Brad, but I couldn't say that Tori has her own individual biggest season like over a Landon, a Rachel, or even a CT.
Yeah, it is interesting because when you look at Landon confessionals, it really is 1, 2, okay, 7, 4, 6, 3, 3, 6, 8, 6. Even with him being like the biggest threat at all times. What I mean of him just being like the presence behind the characters.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I definitely, on my list, I really thought that I was going to consider Rachel more, and I think as we're talking about it, Rachel's kind of falling out of contention for me.
Let me push her back in because
Okay.
I'm not pushing her that far out. Well, what do you think about the Tori thing? Do you want to just come back to it, or?
I had a similar thought of like, are we gonna see a world in which Tori falls off? And part of me wants to put Brad and Tori like on this both. I think that they both do contribute to the storyline a lot. Like I said, I think that a lot of it is in scenes rather than confessionals. So I don't think that confessionals is wholly representative of how much she is involved in this season. But I do think she has less individual storyline than Brad. So I understand why she is starting to fall out of contention.
Gotcha. Well, so I guess to go back to Rachel, I mean, I can't even though sorry, I'm all over the place. Even though it's not as big of a story as Evan has, with Evan and his relationship with Paula throughout the season, where Evan just like working with the guys. I mean, Rachel dominating as much as she does, and first of all, beating all the guys in the final, finishing first. I might also be taking into consideration like her whole challenge legacy, which is not fair to do in a season Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
But just thinking through like what an advocate that she has become as the years have gone on for the women on the challenge. So for me, like, I don't know, I think I'm having like a hard mental time with taking her win as less than Evan's win, just because she had obviously less story, but not
Yeah.
nothing. Like, it's not like her Jen and Anissa was just like an episode. The her and Jen started from early on when Jen was injured, and she was talking about how much like her and Jen coming back together, and then they were back together, and then Anissa jumps in with a little bit of jealousy because we find out that they had been a thing, and then Rachel's dominating by getting Anissa to do her dirty work and taking out Tori, and then she gets to the end and dominates the final. So I just like don't want to overlook that from our female champ here.
Yeah. But to
So
me, like, we're not putting Evan on because he won by any means.
it's just a really big exclamation point at the end of his story, which to me is like the same for Rachel.
I think for Rachel, like, let's revisit the confessionals again. 1, 4, 2, 4, 5, 3, 3. Like, she's kind of missing for most of the season. She has like somewhat of a story with Jen, but she doesn't want that to be a story. She's actively hiding it for the majority of the season. And it's only once like, okay, they wrestle and like we kind of get it as a storyline, but she's doesn't want to be on the show, like from like a character perspective. To me, Rachel is a smaller character than pretty much everyone else we have in contention.
Well, I almost feel like, just to narrow the field down, are we both that Brad has a spot? Are we both feeling confident with that?
I feel good about it.
Because if we're just like narrowing down who we're comparing here, then maybe just we'll put Brad on. We've already made the case and laid all that out. So
Okay.
Then do you still feel like you're thinking about CT, or can I push
I
for
would
that not to be the case?
I would probably in my mind have, when I think about this season, I think about the CT moment. I would probably have CT, Landon, Rachel, but I could see the argument for Landon, CT, Rachel.
CT, Landon, Rachel. You could see the argument. Wait, I say that again.
Like I would probably have CT number 1, but like Landon's not that far behind, whereas I think Rachel is pretty firmly number 3 for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm Rachel, Landon, CT.
Interesting.
Which feels like it ends up like averaging out that Landon has the final spot.
I think I agree.
But I don't like Rachel not being on.
I'm fine with it personally. So I don't know. I don't think this is her season. Like I think that Landon has a bigger season.
But Rachel has more than Landon. Like Landon's the bigger competitor, but Rachel's a really good competitor. Like again, it's that foursome. Yeah. It's Mark, it's Rachel, it's Landon and Brittany that are all really strong. But Rachel has the Jen and Anissa go all the way through. I hear you about the confessionals, but she's the number 4 confessionalist.
That is true as well.
I mean, if it ends up being Rachel that we put on there, the top 4 confessionalists are the Mount Rushmore, and we just walked a really long way to get to that. But
that would be funny.
I don't know.
I don't know. When I think of this season, I still do think of Landon's dominance much more than I think of Rachel. But
okay,
I don't know.
I mean, I'm trying to like give any last minute like thought bubbles to either way, because I had both of them on, and I think I ultimately would have pushed Brad out, but the Brad and Tori is a pretty big factor in all of this, and if I can cut out at least Tori, I'm good, but then that only means that there's room for one more person. I mean,
I will say that when I was coming into the season, I thought that the Mount Rushmore would have been Evan, Paula, Landon, Rachel, but then watching it is what pushed me towards Brad and Tori, and was like, actually, they're ever present. Brad is constantly talking. Like, this is such a storyline.
But Brad like just doesn't want to get himself into a winning spot ever. So why is he getting a winning spot on this Mount Rushmore?
That's so different.
Well, you just said that Rachel didn't want to be there or didn't want to open up, so she shouldn't be here.
Okay, there's a difference, but we are not doing who had the best 4 games of the season. This is who are the 4 biggest characters.
Look, I wanted Landon to have a spot, so like I won't be upset if he gets it. And again, the average of the order that we just gave would put Landon in the spot.
Yeah.
So I'll let it happen. But let the record show. Well, and I will let the record show. I'm going to put
you will literally put the note
thought bubble note in there that Matt would have added Rachel and Scally would have added CT.
Fair. I'm curious if anyone has strong opinions on, should Rachel have been on over someone? Should CT have been on? What should have happened? But this is where the average came out to.
Okay. And look, we've also been known to change after the fact. So if either of us think more on it and you come to your senses that Rachel should be on.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So it ends up being Evan, Paula, Brad, and Landon. I mean, I would almost put Rachel on over Paula to a certain point, but
Not even close for me.
yeah, I know. Um, all right, we'll leave it at that. As far as the men's Mount Rushmore goes, right now we have The Miz and Evan and CT and Kenny. We already talked about Evan and CT defending their spots. The Miz is long gone from the challenge world. Kenny has been gone for a season. But is there anybody that we would even be open to discussing here?
For me, it is like, okay, let's look at Mark Long comes back. I don't think Mark Long comes back to our Mount Rushmore though.
I mean, he wasn't even like close to contention on the season's Mount Rushmore. So he's
No.
definitely present in this season, but like to fight your way back to earn one of the top spots, like his whole narrative is I just came back to see what else I have, not to like be the challenge again.
Yep, I will say, whether it be Adam, Nick Brown, Ryan Davis, Nehemiah, Isaac, Eric, Dunbar, Derek, or MJ, none are even close for me.
Nope. The only other name that I think is even worth speaking aloud, but is not going to make it into a spot for me is Brad. Obviously, we
Agreed.
just talked about he's got a good season, and just like historically to this point, he has become a big name of the show. If Evan and Kenny don't show up and dominate airtime like they do, I think Brad could be at a spot at this point to work himself in. But even still, like I probably don't have him above Derek Kaczynski. He's probably maybe like earning a spot right below Derek, close below Derek.
I think that's what it is. For me, like Kenny would have joined last season on the Mount Rushmore. Evan would have joined on this season, knocking out Derek. I think that this is where, for me, Evan takes over Derek's spot. And I think Brad is like sixth, seventh. I think he is always like when people freaked out about Brad being on season 40 as an Arrow 1 representative, I didn't really get that. I feel like it's accurate. I think Brad is one of the most ever present men from that era on this season, on the show, just considering who they could get back, like considering Miz was not coming back, Eric was not coming back, etc. I think that it was totally fair for Brad to be there. And but I don't think that Brad was ever, and like spoiler alert for when we get to Brad's next season, I don't think Brad was ever a top 4 man in challenge history.
No, and again, he does it to himself. He chooses these spots. He wants to hide behind all the bigger guys and just ride it out. So that's what he's going to keep doing here. So we'll leave that Mount Rushmore just as it is. Don't know when the next shakeup will be. I mean, I guess I can start to kind of speculate as to who it would be, but we don't know when that's going to come.
That's, for me, my expectation was always at the beginning, there's going to be tons of shakeups because people don't have their legacy built up yet. But as we go, you need to overtake someone who has had a lasting legacy on the challenge, and that's a lot harder. So I think it, like, the Mount Rushmore is super fun. I love the Mount Rushmore, but I don't anticipate it changing nearly as much as we move forward.
I think that's fair. I mean, we've seen less movements for the most part. I mean, obviously Evan, CT, and Kenny coming on was like a big shakeup all at once. But when you look at your Corals and Veronica's, Beth's, Miz, that like people that's 4 spots of the 8 that just haven't changed.
100%.
Maybe they will right now, though, on the women's side, because we have, again, Beth, Evelyn, Coral, and Veronica. I have 3 names worth mentioning here. Let me start with one that I know is not getting added, but what about Anissa?
No.
Just like she's here every time, and she's doing things every time. She's in drama every time. She keeps adding something to her resume, but it's not a win. And it's just like little pockets of drama that don't overtake any of these 4.
She's just like, again, she's not the most iconic ever, and it's unfortunate. I really wonder if there's anyone out there who, like, Anissa was their number 1, like that, like, I was so excited because I just feel like she's in maybe like a top 10. Like, I don't know, it's not even that close for me.
Well, not to spoil, our podcast 6 years from now, but can you close your eyes and imagine a world where we just finish rewatching the Challenge 42 and Anissa is in this top 4?
Not really. No, honestly.
I would say I could see it. I don't know exactly how we get there, but just once we are 42 plus seasons in, hopefully plus, and just like knowing how much of a consistent presence that she is, alongside your CTs and Bananas that will obviously be on it at that point, I can see a case. I just don't know if it'll happen.
Yeah. I could see, I'm worried about Anissa making season Mount Rushmores So
Still hasn't happened.
let's tackle that first.
What do you think about the winner of the season who just did not make it onto the all-time Mount Rushmore or the season's Mount Rushmore? Rachel. Any thought to Rachel taking one of these four spots?
I think for me, Rachel comes and puts an extremely, good season performance, but I don't think she's a big enough character to overtake any of the four existing spots we have here. I think too long of a layoff. She's just not the biggest name in the universe right now.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously agree. She is going to come back and cement her spot as like a legend of the show in modern times. But like, if this was just her last season, that's probably just the last that we're talking about Rachel again.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, she was a good winner. She was a strong winner. But story wise, I mean, not enough there.
She would come up like if she had not been on All Stars, like it would be like, wow, like when are we get Rachel Robinson on All Stars? Like that was a thing before All Stars 4 was like, oh my God, when is Rachel going to return? And I think partially that's helped by her continued presence in the community through her like fitness business and just like general showing up. But I don't know. I still think that the four women we have on now have built their legacy much more dramatically.
Well, have they built their legacy more dramatically than the up and coming star that is Paula Walnuts?
Paula Walnuts. I think Paula is someone who is definitely in contention to get on the Mount Rushmore at some point. But I think for me, Paula is heating up right now. I don't think Paula has jumped into one of these spots just yet for me.
As we said for Evelyn last season, even though Evelyn did make it on, it's just such a tough field for the women.
Sure.
Beth, Evelyn, now Coral, Veronica, that is a tough group to crack. And I mean, at this point, you're probably talking about, does Paula just take like Evelyn's spot? And that doesn't feel worth it. Evelyn, who has now won 2 challenges already, she was the challenge last season, while Paula and her story there was not to say like an afterthought, but it's like, well, after Evelyn runs away with Paula's friends, then you look back at Paula and it's like, that's embarrassing, that sucks. But and then Paula here again, it's not a great story, it's just a big story and it's a big part of the season. Not having gotten a win yet feels like a little bit of something that's also going to hold her back. It's, you just said this, she's, we're talking up against these people's legacy, and so by no means do I think she takes a Coral spot. The Beth and Veronica spots are always going to be interesting to me because I feel like cases could be made to an extent just when you start to compare the up, and it's just like, if Paul is going to take a spot, I think she's coming for one of those spots before she comes for Coral's spot, but it's just
before Coral's duh.
Yeah, so that's just all I'm saying, that like at some point when the conversation happens, if it's not going to end up being today, it's going to be for probably one of them, especially as Evelyn remains in the conversation. I don't know. We're about to get Veronica back next season.
Woo! Honestly, I've been just fighting to keep her until she comes back. Like, come on, we got to get there.
I mean, and I think we will. Like the one thing that I would not do is advocate, or I know you wouldn't advocate for this, to say let's swap out Veronica right before she comes back to give her challenge, her Mount Rushmore spot, one last chance of defense before she's going to leave us for a longer time. And I'm not ready to take Beth off. I don't think Beth comes off at this point. So Paula definitely working her way up. If Tanya is out of the conversation because, well, she's about to be on one more season, but we know the story there. So like, who else are we looking at as like a firm 5th spot? Like Paula probably has that 5th spot either in her hands right now, or like she's in 6th about to grab it for sure.
She's definitely on the outside looking in. It's hard. I almost
Bananas isn't here yet, obviously. Like these 2 up and coming stars, we know that they are only at the, maybe you can call it halfway point at this point for them, but like not there yet.
I mean, I'm gonna be totally honest. Like, has Paula passed Rachel? Has Paula passed like Katie, DM? Like, I still think there are people that are probably above Paula as of right now. It's just that we know what's coming for Paula.
Exactly. I think that's 100% it. Wait, you want to put Katie back on? Because I'm down.
Don't
she just keeps going out so early. All right, well, Paula, unfortunately, doesn't seem like today is your day. The Mount Rushmore stays untouched from last season. It is what it is. Can we talk about next season?
Let's talk about next season.
The ruins. Just said Veronica is back. She's been gone for
Woo!
8 seasons.
My girl's back. So I'm very excited.
After this, she's going to be gone for 12 seasons. So let's enjoy every second of Veronica
Literally.
being back. I'm so excited for the ruins. I have so many memories of this season from the rewatches.
Conflicted feelings.
Yes. There are a lot of things that I am looking forward to. Can I jump ahead and say debuts? Because that's what I'm also most excited for. Sarah Rice is about to show up, and I am such a big Sarah Rice boy. Get prepared to be sick of me.
I'm curious to see how I feel about Sarah, especially after seeing Paula in this early run. I'm like, how do I feel about some of these people that I liked a lot more on my first watch? I'm cautiously very excited for Sarah.
Prepare to be sick of me.
Actually, I won't lie. I feel like Sarah annoyed me and then grew on me. So we'll see.
I think that's fair. But I don't know. I'll talk about it along the way with her journey of like, I don't know. I just like really related to her, just
Okay.
in a lot of different ways. She's about to kick off a 9-season run, not in a row. 7 of those are in a row, but about to be on for 9 seasons of like the next 10 or 11 or something.
Okay.
So
yeah, definitely someone who, they're dying to get back in the mix, but
yes. Oh, and Chet's here. Chet's going to show up.
Boo, 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 boo.
And Brianna Taylor, a 1-season wonder. I don't remember. So we'll see about that. But sorry, back to the returnees for the first time in a little while. Big time friend of one Sarah Rice. Susie.
Ooh, okay.
I was
Susie
like,
coming back.
did I say Sarah's name right? Susie's back after 3 seasons away.
Okay. Susie, I feel like someone who's in probably like a top 15 spot. I'm trying to think if I had to like build out that list, how far does Susie fall?
That sounds like a Patreon podcast.
Ooh.
Fun. Let me go in order of layoffs here with the bigger ones. Back after 4 seasons away, it's Wes Bergman.
Interesting. Yeah, Wes is someone who I feel like obviously is a huge character in challenge history. Probably someone that we're eyeing to potentially take a Mount Rushmore spot at some point. And he didn't really come that close in his original run. So now that he's back, when does that happen?
Yeah, we will see. So Wes is back after a bit. 5 seasons away since we have last seen Duel.
Woo!
4-time champ, 4 in a row. Obviously made it onto the Mount Rushmore, but with the time away, that has slipped away from him. So we'll see if he can fight for a spot back. But
can he make it 5?
Maybe. It'll be good to see Duel back. Back after 6 seasons away. We've all been wondering, where is Ebis? She's back.
Don't make fun of Ebis. That's my girl.
Okay, sorry.
How dare you?
Well, she's back.
Good. I'm excited. This is like legitimately, like I said, Road Rules Extreme was like one of my seasons growing up. I was firmly locked in. So the Ebises and Kinas of the world, like I've been waiting for them on All Stars. I'm excited for Ebis.
What about Cyrus? He's back after 6 seasons.
I like Cyrus. He's an old reliable is how I feel about Cyrus. Like he's never going to be my number 1 guy on the season, but I'm always like, oh, look, Cyrus is here.
They said, you want to bring old people back to the challenge? We will bring old people back. To the challenge.
No.
You think
Cyrus.
Mark's something? Yeah. What is Cyrus probably at this? I mean, he's got to be in his 40s, right?
I don't know.
Maybe not. He might not be at this point.
He really might not. He might not.
I don't know.
I don't know that he's older than Mark.
You don't think he's older than Mark?
I said I'm not sure. Let me look up. Let me look up Mark Long because we just saw Mark Long at 37. So we have a very clear indicator. Mark Long is 54 years old versus Cyrus is also 54. So he's probably 38 coming back to the show.
Okay. Well, feels older, maybe just because of his returns in modern times.
How dare you?
Returning from this season of the challenge, we have Katie's back. We have Brad's back without Tori. We have Adam is back without CT. DM, why did I say it like that? DM is back without CT as well. So that's good.
Okay.
Evan is back, reunited with his boys, Bananas and Kenny, who were back after a season away.
Oh boy, that JEK Dynasty era is in full swing, huh?
Guess who's back together? Maybe not together, who knows? But Dunbar and Kimberly.
Look at that. I am very curious to see how they interact on the season, if at all.
And again, no Paula for to get in their way or to get in bananas and to get screwed over by her boys.
A welcome break.
Nick Brown and his iconic new
your fave.
Well, stop that.
The movement.
No, my real fave is also back. Siobhan is back for
that is true. You love her.
Another run. She's going to give it another chance. And then a couple more players here that are back after some shorter breaks away. Tanya is back for her last season. Not going to be fun to talk much about Tanya's last season, but we will talk about it. Derek Kaczynski is back after a season away. Johanna is back after a season away. Casey Cooper. Danny wasn't on the island, right? He's been gone for like 2 seasons.
He was not.
Evelyn is back after a season away, and her buddies from the island, Kahada and Kellyanne.
Look at that. Yeah, I'm very interested to check in with a lot of these people. I like that. I love the old challengers that would take 1 or 2 seasons off, and it was just like the perfect amount. Like, just come back for 2 seasons, leave for a season. Like, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Like, go grow as a person. Go get a real job.
That's what Lisa said to Dunbar. She said, grow.
God, no.
All right, let's wrap this up, which most of the challengers did not do.
Okay.
We are over 2 hours here because we obviously have a lot of segments at the end of these season wrap-ups. But up next again will be the Ruins, probably another 5-parter. These seasons are getting a little longer, not complaining about it. But anything else for you from the Duel 2?
That's gonna be it for the Duel 2. I thought it was a fun revisit, not a top season, but a very good showing for the Duel 2.
Agreed. It lands again at number 7 overall for us out of 17 seasons that we've watched. Season number 18 coming up next. We're slowly making our way to the end of era 2. So that's cool. If you're looking for more from us, obviously you can find us doing another rewatch podcast right now. We're talking about The Traitors, season 1, which I'm trying to think if any challengers were there. Not yet, right? Not CT and Trishelle are season 2.
Yeah, they're season 2.
So if you want to see modern CT, check out season 2, not season 1. We're covering season 1. But yeah, we're doing that right now. Plus everything we're doing on Patreon, bonus episodes every single week, talking all things in the world of reality TV, hopefully getting even closer to the Challenge 42. I'm sure information on that is going to come out sooner or later. Who knows? Maybe by the time this podcast is up. Probably not. Who knows? This is coming out in a little bit, but your coverage on RHAP, ever so timely.
Yes. Go, you can check out the completed $1 Million Secret over with Chappelle, and you can check out the, I think still running, Beyond the Villa podcast with Kirsten. Been super fun. Go check it out.
Yes, check all that out. Check out the Diary Room podcast. Myself and Aman are talking all things Big Brother all the time. There is an episode with Brian Scally on the way, so keep an eye out for that. And other great guests every single week, talking again all things Big Brother, trying to find the best player in Big Brother history. I think that's it for us for now, which is, I don't know. We could find more stuff to talk about. Go 3 hours, but
I think 2 is good.
2's good. All right, we'll stop here. Thank you all so much for checking this one out. We'll be back so soon talking about the Ruins. But until then, take care, and we hope to see you all in the future.